When you got worries,
We-
all the noise and the hurry seems to help.
We
I
are
know.
live. We are live. Let me turn off this. Let me turn off Univision because you're gonna hear Latin shit in the background all the damn time, and I ain't trying to get
Hola,
struck by.
compañeros.
I ain't trying to get struck
Bienvenidos.
by YouTube. I'm not trying to get struck by YouTube and elite
Hey,
my
but if
shit.
you want,
Mucho
you can
gusto.
leave it. You can leave it muted and just show us Yannick Garcia with the weather. That would be great. That would be
Yannick
great.
Garcia's not on.
Oh,
Viva
well, this is fun
It's a show.
anyways.
It's a show coming on right now.
Oh, nice. I always think the soaps are really interesting. Like the Spanish
This
soaps. I
one's
used
not.
to have a.
Yeah, this one's not a soap though. This one's different. This is actual.
Mhm.
This is one of them. This is not a soap. This is a different one. Like the soaps aren't on yet.
Oh, nice. You know that they only have like three things that they do. Like they either are like trying to make eye contact with the other person while the other person's looking away, or like one person always like splays out on a wall, all dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Or then
My favorite. When they
well,
turn to
go
look,
ahead. When they turn and
all
look
the women,
away.
their hair's always blowing in the wind and their dress is blowing with it too and shit.
Yeah, and it's inside of a house. It's like
Yeah, I
inside
know,
of a
right? You're
closed
inside of a
with
building
no
and
air.
it's just blowing and shit. I'd be cracking up when I see that shit. I was like, they be just super dramatic with that shit.
It's so dramatic and it's just so great. And then
Yeah.
like the
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 sad part
show, the
about
TV
the
shows.
sad part
Yeah.
about the Latin soaps, the American soaps, is
Uh-huh.
they
They
do it.
don't make sense.
They don't even have to. They don't even have to take their clothes off to look sexy doing it. They can be fully clothed in like some 15th century outfit, and
Yeah.
they
The
look sexy
American
as hell.
soaps are so sexualized. It's
Yeah,
like
they're like so
so
sexy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the
they
Latin soaps
always
are
turn a
sexualized, yes.
bang.
The Latin soaps are
It's terrible.
sexualized too. But the sad part about that is they do it with clothes on, whereas the American soaps, it's like they got a sponsor from like Victoria's Secret or Frederick to Hollywood or something like. So they got to get naked and shit all the damn time. Where in the Latin soaps, they just basically look like that, and pretty much like they're just sexy no matter what clothes on. Even older women,
You know? That's
even
like
older
a
women are
really that's
sexy
really
with clothes
interesting.
on and
I
shit.
think
Like
that's
it's
really
like
cool.
damn, like
Uh-huh.
they thought about that. They really put that together well.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
Dude, I don't know her name, but there's this one legit Latin weather girl. That, oh my
Yannick
God.
Garcia.
Yeah.
Yannick Garcia.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
you know, Garcia.
Yannick
Yeah,
Garcia.
she's hot.
Holy fucking
She's hot as
hell.
I give her that.
Hey,
Which
she can
basically
predict
proves the point that-
my chance of rain. Oh, sorry, let me stop.
Stop it.
Which
It's too fucking early in the goddamn morning for that shit.
And we just got in trouble for
Oh, it's
sexual
never
harassment
too
on
early
a
for
forum, basically.
Yeah. So speaking of that, Tico, you had a topic you wanted to get our hot take on. Sorry, this is Batata Pelagroso. It's a Batata Pelagroso.
Yeah, I know, right?
So you're gonna get some. You're gonna get some hot takes.
Apparently, the NFL, an NFL player is suing the United Air. Basically, it's the second passenger that's suing for sexual harassment and sexual assault. Apparently,
Wow.
the crew did nothing as they complained about it, and they let them be sexually harassed and sexually assaulted on the plane. And now the NFL player and another passenger are suing. They were on a red eye, basically coming from somewhere else to where they were going, and they were sexually harassed and sexually assaulted by a passenger or two on a jet. Basically.
Or two, a passenger or two, so they weren't sure.
Well,
Damn.
no,
They're like, who's assaulting
more
you?
than
Well,
one. It was more. It was
Who
more
assaulted
than one,
you?
but yeah, it was more than one. But apparently,
It's getting horrible now.
Apparently,
It's just
but
getting
apparently
bad.
the one. Apparently, there was more than one, but the one went a little too far, basically. So the other one, I guess,
Oh.
they're letting slide. But the other one, they went a little too damn far, basically. But they were sexually harassed and sexually assaulted by a passenger on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just coming up recently, but like it's just coming up recently in American news, but they've been talking about it the whole time in the Latin news, though. It's been happening since February.
It's like, you're not so bad.
Right.
You can get away with it, but you did horrible things. You will pay.
Yeah, like apparently when they said stop, the one lady stopped and had some damn morals. But apparently she wasn't American. She was from another country, so I guess her traditionalism kicked in. Like she got some damn sense, and the other one was from America. She just basically just went about it the wrong way.
Right.
and did what she did.
And it was a
That's the
flight out
only
of
thing.
America to international. Is it an international
No,
flight?
it was an American flight from it was a red eye from
Uh,
one
it
in
was
America to
domestic
another
flight.
in huh?
Oh, okay. It
It
was
was
a
American soil.
so it was a
It
yeah
was a domestic,
nonstop.
yeah. Yeah, it was a nonstop domestic flight.
Well, one thing I want to kind of highlight with that is like no one cares when just like an imor or like a black person trying to travel gets harassed, and it doesn't even matter if it's sexual harassment or if he's getting profiled or any of that stuff. Um, because it's all under the guise of like the kabuki theater that we call TSA. It's just like either
I
underfunded or
like it.
overfunded depending on how your perspective on it. And it's all to like simulate this feeling of like, oh, okay, we're all safe for all the Karens so that the Karens can stop freaking out and still buy stuff. And
Uh-huh.
I've seen that happen nowadays too. Like whenever someone gets harassed for wearing a mask, it's like as long as there's no Karens around, everyone's like thinks that it's ridiculous. But if there's a Karen around, then everyone seems like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll go tell that person that they have to put on the mask, because you feel bad, Karen. And you see,
Yeah.
Karen, we care about you,
You want to know the
Karen. We
sad
don't want
part
you
to
to feel
that?
bad, Karen.
I was on a flight, and apparently there was the only person that complained about one person not wearing a mask on a flight was a Karen.
Did you say hi, Karen?
She even had the haircut
Fuck
too.
you, Karen.
She even had the
Yeah,
haircut too. She was, I can't believe he's not following the rules. I'm sitting there looking at her, just laughing, and a young guy sitting there laughing at her too. And we're both sitting there laughing, shaking our head
yeah.
like, "Well, I think you should follow the rules." We're sitting there busting out laughing. I was like, "This heifer."
Uh-huh.
And
And
apparently,
well, the sad thing, sorry to cut you up, but the sad thing about it is like if we just ignored sexual harassment, like I feel like people would be much happier. Like, because there's really nothing wrong with somebody being sexually attracted to someone, but ever since sexual harassment and assault, like, sort of leaked in its way into like the main window of discussion, like everything is sexual assault, everything is harassment. Like,
well,
if
the sad
people
part
could
about
be
that,
more,
it's not even that.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
even that. It's more or less the fact that everything that's sexual harassment is now considered sexual assault now.
yeah.
That's what
Right.
the
It's like
problem is. The lines are
harassment has
blurred
been
between
turned on
harassment and
assault,
insult.
yeah,
And
and then
unfortunately,
microaggressions are
the difference between what the
harassment.
guy is saying, the player is saying for the NFL, and what women say in the workplace is he was actually sexually harassed. He made like innuendos and sexual comments towards them and another passenger. Then on top of that, she actually groped them and touched them.
All right.
So
Hey,
she actually sexually harassed and sexually assaulted the man.
And I think
hey,
that
I get.
that's something that I feel like is normal, but then under this context is something that the man feels compelled to report, just kind of in order to bring some of the. I mean, you're flying on in a coach as a high profile celebrity, like somebody's gonna touch you, okay? But like my point is that people
They were
work
first
this.
class.
I mean, like if a woman's
Wow.
not groping another man, she's probably groping herself. That's just what women do. I think,
Hmm.
in my opinion, they just they grope their hair when they're trying to get attention. They grope their man when in the pictures. The A-frame hug, the Y-frame hug. They grope their friends in pictures and stuff too. They grope everything. That's all women do
The
is
sad
grope,
part about
grope,
that, the
grope,
reason
grope.
why they do that in pictures of men is basically
Mate guarding.
mate guarding basically in pictures. They want you to know that this
How
belongs
do you
to
say
them.
that in Spanish? How would you say that? It's okay. It's not a Spanish lesson. I was just saying. But no, but that's funny though that you said that because like my whole thing is like we're forced to be so open that there's really nothing. There's no more innuendo that really sticks. It's like all innuendo is kind of like codified, and it's not really that. It's all like it's not very genuine. Like you can't just be genuinely attracted to somebody. You have to either fake like you are because they're kind of hideous, or if they are attractive, you have to like ignore them or pretend that you're not.
Hey,
Hmm.
get this.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're talking about sexual harassment, sexual assault. And who knows about this? Did I say anything about the Sharp program? in any of these live streams.
I heard you mention that before.
Right.
That's in the military, right? In regards to
Yeah.
sexual crimes or sexual
Right.
cases. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I might. I think it's either in my videos or in one of the live streams I mentioned it. I'm not sure, so I'm a little
Mentioned it
cautious
in the
about
live
things.
stream.
So I'll leave it alone then.
Well, no, you're fine. You can bring it up again.
But
It needs to be said.
Oh yeah.
in the military, they still run on man bad, woman good. I mean, my videos or in one of them. But they run on that principle. I mean, I got out of it's an annual sharp class, and what it is like it's a freaking mess to me. They emphasize they emphasize on one party's shortcomings, but don't emphasize on the others. Like they do nothing about the false claims. So this person's stuck in the middle, stuck getting out the military or in Leavenworth with his whole life and his whole career ruined.
Very true. Very true.
I mean, that's really that is really messed up. Like you're gonna ruin this person's life, this person's career, and you expect them not to sue? I mean, for the damages, it is like these. And you know what the worst part is? The women get off scot free, mostly actually either scot free or mostly scot free with a slap on the wrist of varying degrees. While this person spent 5, 10, 15, 25 years of his life behind bars, trying to proclaim his innocence, but nobody is going to listen.
Nobody wants to listen.
Nobody wants
Well,
to
the sad
listen.
part about that, it's not even the fact that nobody wants. It's not even the fact that nobody. It's not even the fact that even the women who get charged with this shit, they get a slap on the wrist comparative to men for the most part. It really sucks.
Yeah. Right.
They'll change the whole venue just to lessen the charges.
Yeah, they will.
Of the backlash. They will change the whole venue. Basically, they will request a change of venue. And
it's like most women get away with not being in court because they utilize the court of public opinion and the tabloids and the media to like paint a different picture. I mean, I'm not even saying it's them half the time. Usually it's just the press and paparazzi that like will usually take the guy's side. Kind of like what we see with companies sort of kowtowing to the fear mongering that all the Karens seem to believe in because they're afraid of risking money, of risking capital, by not following the status quo.
Yeah, the sad part about that, they're less likely to fire a woman at jobs because they're scared of lawsuits than they are to fire a man at a job, basically. Even if they
regardless of how much that woman complains and how much that woman talks about
even if they know the woman is wrong, or even if they know the woman isn't physically capable of coming back, or shit like that. Basically, they're less likely to fire a woman because they're scared of lawsuit versus firing a man for the same damn thing.
They will hold on to a woman's job before they ever held on to a man's job. They will hold on to a woman that is incapable of doing the job before they ever hold on to a man who is completely willing and able to do the job.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
the sad part about that,
you have men getting fired on technicality, whereas women getting promoted on coincidence or on serendipity, or getting that position because the guy's just been vacuumed. And it's kind of like MiGTOW. Whenever somebody goes MiGTOW, like Tico said in a video, you create a vacuum for a bunch of simps, a bunch of white knights, and a bunch of entitled women who kind of want to feel that, who want that power to go into those positions. And that's kind of why I've like always had the perspective of like thinking about MGTOW a lot because I see it all the time. Whenever somebody leaves a position, it's always filled by a woman. And it's kind of like
Yeah.
a recurring pattern.
And to address Mr.
But just
I got a good one for
sorry,
you guys.
Let me address Mr. Forma's
Tico.
problem that he got going on there. Mr. Forma, how do you know it's accidental? That sounds like it's purpose to me.
That if it shit.
Yeah, she didn't accidentally touch her butt. She meant to touch her butt. Yeah. That'd be like the cartel princess accidentally grabbing me on the dick.
Or cartel princess
So
accidentally knocking on my truck.
Yeah.
I got a good one for you.
That was intentional.
I got a good one for you that always, every single time HR will side with the woman, right?
Right?
So
Pretty much.
essentially, when a woman gets pregnant, gives birth, she gets maternity leave, but the man doesn't. That's pretty fucked up, right? Because
Well, in some countries, the man gets
hold on.
paternity leave.
We're talking about the Western world first, right? Because this is a Western channel. I'm not speaking no hablo español.
No, I'm talking about an actual Western world. That don't happen in Spain, Spanish countries. That happens in like the Scandinavian countries, which is a Western world, smartass.
Here at the Tico Tren channel.
But I'm just saying, let's just
perspective of double I.
All right, we have to Tico Tren channel. Do not condone the perspective with double I. He merely is upset and hurt. We're still trying to figure out who hurt him.
Oh wow! No, but seriously, if you think about it, think about it. Here's HR kowtowing to the femme, right? So,
yeah.
oh my God, we're expecting, we're gonna have a baby. Oh my God, let's fill out the paperwork for your maternity leave because we're gonna have to do it early because you're gonna have to talk to Susan and Charlene and because they're gonna be
and
having
Corey,
children soon, and we
and
have
Robin.
and we have to coordinate when y'all get to take off. So don't worry, we'll back each other up and everything like that. So okay, but then let's put a cock in the middle of this, right? So a man goes to HR. Yes, my wife is pregnant now. I'm going to need. No, well, we're short staffed, sir. We don't have, but there's paperwork and things to be filled out. I'm just thinking ahead. No, well, we're thinking ahead too. So you're going to put a big strain on the company. I'm not sure if we can do this, sir.
Did she
but you let Charlene do it. But Charlene is a woman. Charlene giving birth. Charlene gave birth. What about you, sir? You didn't give birth.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
That's basically deleting the father from the picture.
It's gaslighting.
Precisely. Now you're thinking.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking on the same line.
You want to know something I did realize about jobs and stuff like that? When you do have children, they will let you have that day or two off, basically. When your child is being delivered, they would give you that day off. Because I know that personally because I have multiple children.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
When my children were your children's age, they didn't have that.
Well, no, because my oldest children are older than your children.
It's hard being Tyrone.
It's hard being Tyrone, yes.
Yeah, the sad part about that is like
to try to bring it to MiGTOW.
And you also have to take into consideration too. I actually had Kadir when way back when, and that was actually a thing too. So Kadir's actually if Kadir was still alive today, he'd be older than Kieran Underchari. He'd probably be in his 20s.
Once again, this is not about you. Not about you.
20s.
Like, what do you guys think? Because that was a topic that coincidentally MiGTOW and the Wind brought up the Sharp program. Perfect timing. Because I was actually thinking about the a super soldier serum. If women start getting in the military, we'll probably have to start injecting them with like super soldier serum. And does that kind of stuff exist already, or is it was it in development during World War II? Oh,
It,
like what? Like,
doesn't exist. It's basically it don't exist. You've been watching too much Captain America.
They do
Yeah,
have
right.
nanotechnology suits, though.
Yeah, they have the technology,
Exoskeletons.
the exoskeletons, but they're still in the experimental phase.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, man,
I tried one on one.
That Boston Dynamics fucking Panther looking robot, that thing is fucking awesome. I want to build one of those so bad. Sorry.
Well, yeah, in all technicality, because I had multiple children, I technically got off 7 days.
I hate
Altogether,
Yeah.
I got off 7 days.
it's compounding off days.
Yeah,
get you,
like
Tico.
I got a date.
They didn't give me time off. They
I
didn't
gotta
give me
date each
fucking
child,
time off.
children.
Who did you know in HR? I know you know
Nobody.
somebody in HR.
I didn't know anybody in HR. I'm just a very charismatic
Accounts
person,
receiving. Accounts are receiving.
though. Right? I'm just a very charismatic person. I've always been a very charismatic
Processing.
person.
Processing.
You knew somebody. You knew somebody, man.
I didn't know
I'm telling
anybody. All I had to do was ask my supervisor. She
Dude,
would get me
I
off
don't
even if
know.
we were short staffed.
I'm telling you, maybe it was the company that I was working for at the time, because I'm telling you, dude, it was
Well,
like pulling
okay.
fucking
That's
teeth.
because your
How
ass probably
about
tried to
this?
ask off for
How
multiple
about
days.
this
Just
as
ask
a
off for
forum
one.
topic? Yeah, just ask one off and they'll give you more. But like,
Double, I was trying to get like the whole entire 3 months off and shit.
I was.
Wow.
I
Like,
was. Damn.
This
Since I
is
was living in,
Scandinavia, nigga. This ain't Scandinavia. You better let that
Well,
go.
you know, children bond at a very young age. You gotta do that.
Mm-hmm. True. Well, the sad
hell,
part
I
about
didn't
that is like,
I wasn't ever really bond with my siblings until like later in life. But
See?
yeah. But that's okay. So since I was living in superhero land with that last topic, what about the topic of like when it comes to work and stuff? How do you like compartmentalize certain emotions? I mean, surely you could apply it to the military example, but like when you're trying to be, when you're trying to work with your supervisor and they maybe happen to be a woman, and you think all of these thoughts because you're a red pill guy, you still have to be able to let that person fight for you and work with them for them to fight for you, and then that way you're worried more about improving yourself and not as much about what a woman is doing in the workplace, and that which is going to steer you off your purpose in general. And it's going to cost you to like not get those opportunities, like whenever you ask them for time off or ask them to be able to do something, like you're gonna that's going to be tainted with like all of your red pill, I guess your red pill thoughts, so like, or not thoughts, but your red pill emotions.
Well, for me, typically when when women pick up staff sergeant, most of the time they've earned it. Most of the time. The other percent of the time they were sleeping up the chain of command.
Right. I mean, you can spot that as a red pill guy. You can spot when a woman is overqualified.
Right. I spotted it before I ever heard of MiGTOW. And I had to know how to play stupid. I had to play dumb, and just basically find out who this person all slept with. And
anytime you hear clickety click down the hall, you run the other way.
Yeah, it's basically like play stupid.
Tico's a sad board. It has no emotions.
Intel. Yeah, play dumb and collect intel. You know what I mean?
Tico sells dreams.
When I came to new command, I always collected intel.
Tico sells dreams to hoes.
Because if they ever thought that they was going to try to sink me, I just basically pull out the intel and I was able to take everybody else down. Once they realized that I knew what was going on, they left me alone. They kind of left me alone. Of course, again, they tried to get me to quit, but for the most part, they left me alone.
Nice.
Okay, well then, going in with everything, with like what Americus is saying in the chat actually relates perfectly, because it goes towards the the sort of dichotomy, or I say you guess like a paradox. Are human beings complete or incomplete? And do we require something outside of ourselves to complete ourselves, or does all of that validation necessarily need to come from the outside, or can it come purely from within?
It at one point at one point in time, a wife was able to complete a man.
Right.
Nowadays,
Uh-huh.
they're more likely to tear a man, to rip a man to shreds
Uh-huh.
than to complete them.
Uh-huh. But they weren't.
And like,
Wait, but does their intention determine the outcome, or is it more or less any opportunity that a woman has to enter a relationship basically is a one-way path to destruction?
I would say it's a multifaceted path, multi-path way to destruction. Because you can either you can stay loyal and have kids, and she can either use kids or say spousal abuse. She could cheat, and guess what? It's still your fault. But in some states, in a couple states, and the numbers are dropping, you can actually sue the party, the opposite party, for affectional alienation. Now that's an old law. I think it's one of the laws in North Carolina, where you can actually sue somebody for affectional alienation.
Fuck North Carolina.
I mean,
North Carolina,
got
smart
it.
ass. It's not North Carolina. It's actually one of the northern states.
But it's like it's a multifaceted way.
Actually, most of this actually does that shit. Yeah, apparently it's considered abuse in the southern states. They say fuck that shit.
But for
I mean, I'll take alienation.
North Carolina made a law against that.
I'll take affection, alienation, or restraining order.
No, you don't. You love North Carolina.
Fuck them.
We have the Tico Tren channel. We do not support.
Actually, yeah, go ahead. Well, don't go ahead. Don't go ahead.
But it's like,
and if you vote in the comment section after this live stream's up, if you hit number 1, we will kick Double I off the show.
Fuck North Carolina.
Fuck North Carolinian. If you vote 2, we'll keep him. If you vote 1, put 1 in the comment section, we'll get rid of his ass.
Put 1, please. Just everybody put 1. I want to go. I'm done.
I'm not talking about the live chat. I'm talking about the actual chat after the show's over.
Oh, damn it!
Goodness gracious.
But it's like, but for that scenario where they can pretty much get away with damn near anything, especially in the military.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they got a free pass.
Let me break this to you. When I was in the Marine Corps, a freaking Lance Corporal, basically slept with a sergeant, which is fraternization. You know what happened to her? She got a suspended bus, so she was able to keep her rank with having a child and get a detachment to Japan.
Damn.
Oh my god.
And
it's like she never took a step backwards. She never took a step backwards. She went to the military, found
and she picked up corporal too.
hot stud guy.
She picked up corporal as well.
Yeah, and then like that gets into like choice, like free will and choice. And I think men have free will, obviously, because we can make the decision not to accept. We can make decision not to accept like certain powers or responsibilities that we get as a result of being a man. Like you see with MiGTOW, a lot of men say, it's not worth it having kids, even though I'm the only person that's going to be able to make that happen in my mind. I choose to forsake that responsibility if that's my choice, and then that's kind of like something that I feel like we always kind of cover for women for is like the choices that they make, and we don't really do anything in order to teach anybody that like any lesson from making a bad choice. We just let them go along with it, and it's just like it's ridiculous. It's really sad.
If it wasn't for the fact that by that point in my Marine Corps career I didn't care anymore, could you imagine how pissed I'd be?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'd be so mad if I saw it happen.
Man. After all the hard work you put in and everything.
And I still didn't get to my attachment to Japan. I got my corporal promotion mailed to me. You know? I got my corporal promotion mailed to me. I didn't get an attachment to Japan. I had stopped caring. I had stopped giving a damn. And the funny thing is certain sergeant majors, when they come in and see you that you know your job, they want you to some of them want you to re-enlist. You'll know, they want to be the re-enlist. And I said, I told them, y'all don't need me. Y'all made it. They've been especially clear for these past 3 years that they didn't need me.
Yeah, and it's such a weird like feeling because you're absolutely needed, absolutely essential, but everyone gaslights you and treats you like you don't belong, or treats you like you don't need to you shouldn't need any extra information in order to do what you do better. And that's because they're focused on projecting all of their insecurities onto you. So they're waiting for you to mess up to make themselves feel better about themselves.
Yeah, and basically,
it's kind of redundant, but you get what I'm saying. They don't care about actually improving themselves, and they would rather focus on how are you going to get through getting your significant other pregnant and surviving through all this time. That's going to be on you. But if it happens to a woman, they're like, how can we make it as easy as possible for her to do this?
For me, it ain't gonna happen with me. The thing is, they realized that let me bring this to you. I was one of the best mechanics in my division. You know, they literally tried everything to get me to stay. You know, but sorry about that. We're backtracking, but they got incentives. They got incentives for women to get pregnant. They've had incentives for women to get pregnant for a long damned time. Want to know what that incentive is? Taxes, child support, and alimony.
Then on top of that, they got women that get pregnant just so they won't have to be shipped out.
Right.
Cash and prizes.
They got women that get knocked up. They got women that get knocked up.
The pimp ringtone. Sorry, excuse the pimp ringtone.
So they don't get shipped out.
They're having a very high
private. Yeah, so
when did you sign up for a ringtone?
I was browsing through the Tico Tren, channel.
Oh, that's what you found.
That wasn't a ringtone.
I thought it was a ringtone.
That's one of the intros. Yeah. I had the.
Yeah, no.
See, you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just browsing through videos here.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Didn't know that it was that high.
Yeah. Private Smuckatelli can knock up fucking private first class Jane Rochcrotch, and she not get deployed, but guess who's getting deployed? Guess what, Smuckatelli? You're going over there. Bend over, grab hold of your ankles.
That's what they do.
I mean, to be honest with you, Win, it's almost like in this paradigm of thinking, it's like the guy who spots the private, he's like, oh, I can make this easier on the both of us by engaging in fraternization in a relationship, and like instead of focusing on improving myself while I'm in this position, like taking advantage of my ability to be in the presence of like a woman who's also in the same thing, and then basically taking advantage of it, and in turn, I mean, I guess maybe he might be aware of it, but he's making it easier for her because little does he know that she's trying to get pregnant and not have to be deployed. And it's like he doesn't even pay attention to any of that. He just sees ass and tits.
That's just the light of it. That's just the light of it. You got fucking privates, E4, E3, and below, who fucking get married so they can live out in town.
What do you mean? What do you mean by this one? What do you mean by this double? I mean, not double. I mean, America's. Tico, change your YouTube for
Tico, charge YouTube for this PPV pay-per-view.
Oh, like wait a minute.
He said that they should pay. There should be like a paid session. But I don't.
I'm actually talking to Spotify right now.
Yeah, in his new condo, in his Minnesota condo. All right,
I'm still waiting on you for that.
Minnesota. Oh, but okay. So two things I wanted to get out real quickly, because we're talking about this subject matter. I always thought that my body, my choice. It always reminded me of like, because I was into true crime. It always reminded me of like people who were into necrophilia and like weird stuff with bodies, like my body, my choice. That's just a thought that I had. Because I thought it was really stupid the way that a lot of women would say that, like, it's my body, my choice. And it's just like, it sounds so creepy because what they're implying is I get to do literally whatever I want because I live in a body, which is like, it's so strange that they don't give that same privilege to men because they just go around groping them and poking them in the ribs and stuff when they're at work and like touching their hair.
Conveniently by accident.
But yeah, like they do all of this, and it's like one time I really pissed this girl off because she just came up and touched my hair without even asking. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to let you do that because that's the only thing you're ever going to get from me. And she was like, oh, and her friend was like, oh. And it was like the biggest rejection that she's ever had, I'm pretty sure. And she was just like, well, I don't even want anything from you anyway. I'll say, oh yeah, right, likely story. Moving on. Go away. And they don't give us that privilege. They don't give us the ability to say my body, my choice, because everything of ours is theirs, regardless of if we're in a relationship with them or not. And it's sad. I mean,
yeah, that's very true. Women could go around doing shit. Women could go around doing shit with such carte blanche, and we can't do shit about it. But it's perfectly fine for them to do it, but it's not okay for us to do it.
The sad thing is like social media has made it so where it's like even with pets, like all of their pets' business is their business, and they get to share their pets' business and stuff. But like if you have a pet, they want to know. They think that they need to know everything about it too. Like they want to know everything about like where, like what your cat's name, how you like pictures of your cat and your animals and stuff. And it's like your house is not even safe from their prying.
They want to know what your house looks like. They want to know what your car looks like. They want to know. Hell, it didn't even stop at your pets. It even goes to extends to your family members and your animals and shit like that. Your kids and shit. They want to know what your kids look like. They want to.
Why do you spend so much time alone? Why do you do that? It's like all of your information. How tall are you? What's your ethnicity? It's like all that information is basically free range for them. Like they get to ask all of that stuff, and it's not
now that you mention that
a
that
partner
whole pet
actually
thing
wants to help you. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, with the pets. So the pets.
The pets.
And then before you continue your report, like imagine what's going to happen, Double I, when all of these women lose their emotional support animals, how much men are going to be their main target for affection after all the emotional support animals are gone.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know which red pill or MiGTOW content creator made that video about girls and dogs. So that's
Yeah.
when people say emotional support animals and women nowadays, to me, that's all.
Physical
That video is
affection.
the only thing I could think of, and
Yeah.
he's right. That guy was right, because if you think about it, man, oh man, yeah. I'm not even going to go there right now in this stream.
Well, you don't need
but
to.
You're right.
Like I said, that's a common thread that a lot of content creators have highlighted, is this this just like attachment and anxiety when women don't have their, cute cuddly thing around to, like I said, project all of their, like, they want the dogs to be all cute and cuddly, they want men to be cute and cuddly and stuff, and then they get to be nasty to everyone else. I mean, it's like, it's so evident, because that's the attitude, is like, I don't need to be womanly because somebody else is going to do that for me. Some other vessel is going to perform that duty for me, and I get to just, be this being, my body, my choice. Like, I get to be possessed by whatever I want to be possessed by, not just being a woman.
And your question, and your question and your thought is on the right track. Like, what are these women going to do? When real shit hits the fan, and like they're gonna turn to us for emotional support and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
But hold on a minute. Before, I know this is not table flip, but flip it around the other way, right? We are already in that kind of a situation, in a sense.
Yeah.
Right. So all these women jumping around on a cock carousel, unable to pair bond, creating men, number one, who are unwilling to be with women that were on a cock carousel.
Yep.
And
some of us were lied to and told that
are sick of being lied to and that sort of thing. So in a sense, I don't want to say MiGTOW in general, but people, men, when you go your own way, in a sense, what you're doing is you're taking yourself out of that equation, right? So you still need emotional support. You still need that emotional bond, but you're walking away. So the question, in my opinion, young man, should be, what can men do to better themselves during those times when they are seeking that emotional validation and that emotional support? Because let me tell you, all the shit that men go through, legit, we give ourselves of that support, and we put it on a sideline. We chin it up. We hold our chest up high, and we tackle the next problem. But the problem is, you're gonna have to pay the bill at the end. Somewhere along the line, you're gonna pay that bill, that emotional bill.
And
sometimes, yes, we pay with our health. Sometimes emotional support animals can help, but the problem is, we're still men capable of loving and wanting to show our affection and love. And I'm not talking about a sexual sense. I'm talking about the love you feel, the happiness you feel when you do good things for someone else.
Being happy. It's just the ability to be happy, and like because of marketing culture, happiness always has to be public, and you can't have any internal happiness. And that's something I wonder about too. Double Eyes, like I can, when it comes to that topic I brought up, like, are you complete or incomplete? Because it's like you can be happy, but if nobody else feels that, then they're gonna hold that against you, and they're gonna somehow. I'm gonna answer
Double Eyes comment by saying I'm a not including children, taking away children off the table. What can a woman do that your dog, your best friends, and a hooker can't do?
Yeah. Well, it's just that phrase "woman" has been
No.
co-opted
Just
by a lot
answer
of
that
different.
question. Like, what can a woman do that a
Yeah.
dog, your best friends, and a hooker can't do?
And in my case, dogs.
Taking children off the table. What can she do
Hey,
that all those three things can't do?
in my
There,
case,
Test your gangster.
no, no,
Test your
no.
like.
You got
There are
friends for
other
that.
things, Tico. You know, you're oversimplifying. There are other things.
No, there's not other things. Because
Yes, there
the
are.
sad part about that is there's not anything else a woman could do that your friends, a dog, and a hooker can't do.
Okay.
Unless that woman is a scientist and she invented the super soldier serum, then she can turn you into a super soldier.
Because at the end of the day, a dog can replace a woman. All the rest of the shit that a woman can do, and your best friends will always replace a woman. And if you really get lonely, you need some sex. You can always go get some because you can pretty much get it from any damn baddie. If you really get desperate, you can pretty much like some content creators. I'm not gonna say no name. You could date like a fucking one or two. You can basically bang a one or a two and get your sexual rocks off, basically. Or if you want to date somebody at least attractive, you can go pay for it. So there's really nothing. There's really nothing that a woman can offer besides children.
That
in this
certainly
day
is
and
on the
age.
other end of the spectrum. Not saying that that's double I, but that idea that women can't walk away from a relationship.
Where does it go?
It's the unseen. Like, so take for instance, when you have a relationship between two humans.
Okay.
All right. So I know you're going to bring the hooker into this, but it's always going to be a different hooker. It's not always the same hooker, right? So number one, you don't have.
I'm not even going to say the same hooker. I'm going to say I know what you're going to say because you're going to say emotional and stuff like that. You got your best friends.
No, not even emotional, but continuity of relational continuance, I guess. You know, like knowing what you want, knowing how you want it, and stuff like that. It's the same hooker is not going to know that.
That's true, but the woman that you keep around is going to test what you want.
The problem with continual continuity is women get tired and they get bored of it, and they depend on you for that reason.
They should test you. They gaslight you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like even though they know what you want, they're going to say, "Why do you want that?"
Only thing with more emotional and any continuity than a woman is a dog and your best friends. They're always going to be there for you, and your dog's always going to be there for you when you're down.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
A dog automatically beats a woman. A dog automatically beats a woman in that department by itself.
Even if you make a good point there, because
let me use this analogy. Even if my dog is about to shit and piss its brains out, it's going to sit there and be patient until it's never rushing me, even when it has its needs. You know, it's always basically knows that I want to do things on my terms.
Especially when your dog is trained.
Yeah.
Like, and the sad part about that is like there's nothing a woman can offer you outside of children. That you can't get. There's nothing there's outside of children, like dropping the whole entire children thing. There's nothing a woman can offer you outside of children. That's your dog, your best friends, and we'll even throw in a number one, a one on the SMV scale, and or a hooker if you want to pay for it. Not offer you. There's nothing that she can do to offer you. And the sad part about that is, if you really want to get technical, you can act constantly and just keep on leading her on and not even really make her your girlfriend. Just to bang her if you really get technical about it.
Hey, look.
And you don't even have to hate her.
I think you mean spiritually. I don't think he's talking about physically. I don't think he's talking about physically or sexually or emotionally, but he's talking about spiritually, how a woman could complete a man.
Your dog and your friend spiritually.
Yeah.
Hey,
and if you really want to get technical about it, there's always church, temple, your religion.
Yeah, but then some religions worship a female
and the
god.
Good book.
Yeah.
Pay about $2,000 or $3,000. Well, you can eliminate one of them.
Yeah, hell, you can even get the same escort to be for a girlfriend experience.
Right.
What?
But it's like,
Ew.
what I'm saying is
Name
like,
one. What?
Why would you,
And if you
dude?
really,
Why would you want to walk the path of many men? I keep asking you guys that. Nobody's
I'm just
answered that
saying though.
damn question.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying though. That's for men that like to do that. I don't like to do that personally. I'm just saying for men that like to do that. That's all. That's pretty much your options. And then on top of that, like I said, you can always date a one or a two,
You
or
know how
fake date a one or a
disgusting
two.
it is. I mean, seriously, how disgusting is it? Don't you guys get it? How horribly disgusting it is to put yourself, little you, in in a public environment. Like, I mean, would you whip it out and put it on the urinal at
No,
fucking
I'm just saying.
in
I'm
the
just
public
saying though.
bathroom?
Like I'm just saying for men that like doing that double eye. Like I wouldn't do that personally. I would just go date a ugly chick if I was
All
that
right,
was the
I'm just
case.
saying in general, not you, but I'm saying, like, I cannot get it. Like, you might as well
Look,
just
I'm just gonna
seriously.
be honest with
That's
you.
how disgusting it is. That
Yeah,
really,
I agree with you
literally is
100%.
how disgusting it
I, I,
is.
I agree with you 100% on that double eye. That's why I'm going to say this will be the first time if I had a choice between a prostitute or an escort or a hooker, I would actually lower my standards and date a one or a two.
Yeah, sex is really only good in a relationship for me, even if it's a short-term relationship. Like I would rather, and that kind of
You apparently haven't
connects
lived there,
both of
you
your
damn bitch.
points.
You apparently haven't lived.
It connects both
Yeah.
points together because I think that
Because
what Double I is trying to talk about is not really not really being too loose with your yourself in terms of like being with
Well, it
so
goes
like
right back
the
to
more
loving
women,
yourself.
but then Tico's saying like the more women you're with that you actually enjoy, the better your perspective is on life. And so that's where you guys are you're sort of you're sort of clashing, but at the same time
Oh,
you
he's
guys
not
I'm not
are
wrong.
both talking about the
He's not
same
wrong.
thing.
saying I'm not saying
Yeah.
I
We
date
are
multiple
talking
women.
about the same thing,
I'm,
but
yeah,
just be
no,
very
I don't do no, not dating,
selective.
not multiple women. Hell no. Yeah, be very
No, I didn't
selective.
say
Is what
that.
I'm
I
saying.
said no. I said yeah. Be selective. No, but just because you're selective doesn't mean that you don't make a selection at all, or you select one and you're picky about everybody else. No, well, sorry. I mean, or that you stay with. No, fuck. What am I trying to say? That
No
that
comments. You say
you
nut
deal
fuck.
with that you deal with yeah that you deal with your sexual urges in a way that you don't actually want to. Is what I'm trying to say. It's like there's always going to be a way. The more you think about yourself and improve upon yourself, you'll always be able to find what works for you. But it's only in the situations where you're desperate or unsatisfied or something outside external is validating you, where you're going to make a bad decision that's not going to benefit you. Basically, is what you guys are trying to say.
Basically,
And I think
Yep.
sometimes it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter like what your mentality is. If you're not putting yourself in the right environment, you're going to be groped, and then everybody's just going to be sitting around watching and not doing anything because that's what they expect of men is to basically, if you're being groped, you should probably like it, and if you don't like it, then who hurt you, basically. And that's really sad. I mean, that's happened, and every time a news story
but that
comes out
happens
like
all the
that,
time. What do you
it's
mean
like
that
no one.
that shit happens quite often? Like apparently, if you're a man, you're just supposed to accept it, and if you're a woman, you don't have to take that. It's your body, your choice. But the sad part about that, your body, your choice doesn't apply to men because then
Yeah.
you're just being evil or you're being vindictive or you're being oppressive. If you don't let it happen to you, you're oppressing somebody.
Hmm.
When in fact that person's
Yeah.
actually oppressing you.
Americans would like us all to comment on what a one or a two is today, and I would like to lead that off, being the
What you say,
least
Tico?
experienced.
Tico finna slip soon. What do you mean slip? I'll never
I
slip.
think he means about. I think he means about. Yeah, I think he means about sexia, the sexia slip.
Nah.
But like a one or a two, damn, damn. That's
Oh,
hard to
what's a one or a
define
two
for me.
today?
Yeah, because I think a one
Every
or a
single
two.
woman in the Western world is a one or a two.
Yeah, the
Not
one
my
a one or a
standards.
two to me is like a three or a four that won't sleep with me is a one or a two. Like it's like they lose points. But then
All
if
women in
you
the Western world are a one or
They
a two.
lose points for not
they
sleeping.
lose points. If they don't want to sleep with me, they lose 3 points. So
That's
it's like,
petty.
yeah, they
That's
lose
petty as
points.
hell. At least when I say they lose points, they have a reason to lose points. Like they look nice in a 3 or 4, and as soon as they open their mouth to say something stupid, they lose points. That's different than they won't sleep with me.
Little Yam is the cock Nazi. No yam for
Yeah,
you.
Yeah,
basically.
no
No yam
yams.
for
You
you.
don't get any yams.
Oh,
I
you don't
can't
want
believe
my
I said
yam?
that too.
You are
Well,
too.
I'm just trying to.
No. They
I'm
don't
just
want
trying to
his
like.
yam roots.
I kind
I'm
of
trying to
pushing
think
the
of.
envelope too because
I'm
I'm
trying
like,
to think what a two.
how
I'm trying to
evil
think of
can
what
you
a one or
be
a two
to?
is today.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Go ahead because
Hmm.
this is actually important.
A
Everyone needs to
one or a
know. We
a
two?
need
one
to
or
know. Yeah.
would be Katie Couric today, and today by today's standards, Katie Couric will be a one or a two.
I don't know. I'd
Oprah
still
will
put
be a
my
one or
nuts in her
two.
mouth. I'd still put my nuts in her mouth.
No, I'm sorry, I wouldn't. She doesn't deserve to suck my nuts. She doesn't
I
deserve to
didn't say
touch my
suck.
nuts.
She gets.
I don't care. She doesn't deserve to touch my nuts. Oprah would be a one or a two. Michelle Obama would be a one or a two. Um, let's see.
Cardi B. Cardi B's a
I
one.
don't. I think with the
Cardi
ten
B's a
out of
four,
ten scale, there
or
really
two
is
terms say
no.
about that heifer. She's a one or a two. Nicki Minaj is a one or a two.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Oh my
Nicki
God! If you
Minaj
see
is
her
a Nicki
face
Minaj is
without
a
makeup,
one.
uh,
Nicki
Yeah,
Sarah
Minaj is like a
J. Sarah
negative one.
J. The porn star Sarah J is a one or a two.
she's a one. She's
Um,
a one.
Oh, she's horrible. Oh God, I
yeah,
hate her.
I'm just naming. I'm just
She
rattling
looks
off
She
all
like
the
looks like a
ones and
Cruella de
fucking
twos.
Vil and
Basically,
meatbag.
Ursula from the Little Mermaid. She looks like.
yeah, Ursula from Little Mermaid.
You know what? The funny thing is, I used to know an
Ursula from Little
Ursula.
Mermaid.
I used to know someone named
I used to
Ursula,
name it. I
and
know an
she was
Ursi.
that fucking
Ursi.
ugly too.
Yeah, an Ursi.
You know, Ursula is a very common name in the Spanish world.
Is it
Uh-huh.
really?
Mm-hmm. It's a very common
I
Well,
think
name.
the
You
one
Ursula's
that
a
I
very
knew was.
ugly
you can
girl.
meet
I'm just
Ursula,
I think
saying.
the one that I knew was
you can
like
meet a
Jewish or
Latina
something.
Ursula very quickly in the Latin world,
She got banked though. Ursula
and like
always
the
got banked.
Russia,
No,
Russia
KKK
and
no, no.
all day long.
Wait, are you talking about Sarah, American Seville, or are you talking
Ursula.
about Ursula, or are you talking about Katie Couric, or are you talking about Michelle
like
Obama?
Ursula is pretty popular
Oh,
in the
okay.
Latin world
A one or a two. A one or a two is just a girl that's got banked.
and the European
Just
world
got banked.
also.
Yeah, if she's very highly successful at her job, she's probably a one or a two. No, it's kind of evil, but I don't care. I don't care. It's true. If you look at the top billionaires, women, most of them are ones and twos, unless they're Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, and
No,
that's
Jeff
just a fact.
Bezos' ex-wife is actually ugly
Oh, she's a one,
as hell. She's a -3.
-3. Do you think that there's a
Did you
point
see
point
Jeff
fives?
Bezos? Did you ever see Jeff Bezos' wife, dude?
Well, who do you think? Yeah, I thought that. She like
Ugly as
she
hell.
looks like just
The
very
only other person that's as
very
ugly as
plain.
her was Jeremy Meek's baby mama.
Got him. Well, okay. Do you guys see a difference between somebody who's just very plain looking and somebody
Just
who's
because you got
just like
money, that
ugly?
don't make you not ugly. I'm sorry. This is the I'm a man, not a woman. It
So wait, who's
don't work
hotter?
like that.
Like,
It doesn't. Sorry.
is
Just because women
a
like Jay
super?
Z, because women like Jay Z because he got money, that don't mean I like a woman because she got money. In other words.
I personally like the girl next door look more than I like a supermodel look, but that might be a flaw in my
Most
perception.
I'm gonna say all men like the girl next door look, and if you don't, I'm gonna just go with some women don't like the girl next door look.
I think that that's weird because the thing is like when you look at women's preferences for other women, it's like of course they range the gambit because they are always trying to support somebody and tell them they look beautiful, which I'm totally for. But the whole thing is
No,
like
I'm sorry. If you look
they
ugly, you look ugly. Yeah, I'm
I know they're
sorry. No,
always
you're
trying to
ugly. You're
but they're
ugly.
always trying to hate.
If
They're always
if
trying
you
to hate on
average,
a
you
woman.
average.
I know, I know. Well, it's like they're so fickle. It's like if a guy likes a woman, then if a guy doesn't is if a guy's trying to deconstruct a woman, then that woman is beautiful to the all the other girls around. But if a guy is actually attracted to her, they will hate on that woman and be like, "She's
Oh yeah,
terrible."
definitely.
Like, look at what's
I talked
happening
about that in a
to Prince Henry's, or what is his name? Prince Harry, his wife.
yeah,
Oh
Harry.
Like,
yeah.
they're just roasting her in the tabloids. They're like, "She fucking ruined him."
Yeah, they definitely are.
And like they're meanwhile, a few months back, they were like, "She's amazing. She's a goddess." And it's just like they fluctuate back and forth between loving and hating these people, depending. And it's just so. If you look at a guy and you say like, "What's your scale of 1 to 10?" or "What do you think?" and use EM as an example. It's like, if you don't want to sleep with me, you're a 1. Simple as that. You're a 1. And but then with women, it's like it's this all of this politics and mind games, and like, oh, how can I benefit from this? And like, it's just so strange. Like,
Well,
it's strange
let
in
me
itself.
correct you in an old Prince Harry thing, right? He fucked up the day he got involved with that ugly bitch. First of all, she was never cute. Secondly, I don't really give a shit about those royals. They're crap anyway. So either way, he fucked up. Why? Because here you are, a royal. All right, someone you know projected royalty and everything like that, and you're going around with a commoner.
I
Foreign
have a
invasion.
He
question.
literally jumped from a 4 to a 2.
2. Where's she from? Where's the old girl
If
from?
she's from America, she's a 1.
Oh, she went to a
No. We're talking
to a
about
point
double.
five.
Remember,
He
one to
went
three.
to a point five.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
He went to a
She's
point five.
So
That's the
we're
opinion
not
on this
talking
whole
about the
entire
she's a
thing.
point
female.
five on the 10. She's yeah,
Yeah, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
judge both.
on the
I'm gonna
double S
judge
scale.
both. I'm gonna judge both of the princesses off the bat right now. If I had to choose between Catherine or Megan, I'd choose Catherine,
Yeah, I
and
choose
that's saying a
Catherine.
whole lot because she's white.
Yeah, and you don't even date
Yeah.
white girls like that.
Yeah,
This is
if I had to
very
choose between the
oriented.
two, I would
Yeah.
choose Catherine.
Oh man, like I think the whole royalty thing is like it's so it's so hard to judge somebody because they are like, even though they do have royalty, they're kind of sheltered, like in I can't, I'm one to talk about being sheltered, but it's just like everyone has limitations on what they're able
That's not an
to
excuse.
see in it, and in case they have, and unless they take the red pill, they won't actually
Being
transcend
sheltered is
that
not an
shelteredness.
excuse because being sheltered is not an excuse because his own brothers fucking warned him about the broad.
Yep.
Oh yeah, his friends, his brother, everybody in the military, his grandma, his dad. Hell, his
Yeah.
mom even
And
came back from the dead and warned him about the death.
So it's like, how much,
he
like what power, like what kind of
he had
power
enough warning.
transcends all that? So it must be something. It must be just fate. It must be just fate and stupidity
Or
that
more like,
that
or
basically
more like,
brings a person to do that. It's
Is I think
like,
it's
to
like
me, that's
karma,
a
basically
tragedy.
trying to.
hey,
I think it's
To
or
me,
karma.
more
that's
like
I
like,
think
you.
it's karma.
Hey,
I think it's karma catching up with the royal family.
hey, you know what I think it
I think
is?
so.
yeah.
I think
At that point,
I
then
think that
it's
she
kind of
was
funny. It's kind of
licking
funny to
and
watch.
I
Oh yeah,
think she was
definitely.
It is
licking and
funny.
riding that
I don't
rooster.
I don't feel sorry for them. Fuck them.
Neither do I.
Hey, you know what I think it is? I think it's her. She knew how to lick and ride that rooster to make his eyes go cross and to cut to bust his brains out of his Johnson.
This is for him. This is for him. Yeah, you're probably right. You are probably right. And to tell a man that he does not need that in his life in this day and age, you are shamed. Who hurt you? Like, who? Why are you telling a man that he can't, have his eyes go crossed and reach higher enlightenment with a broad? Just like go into the cloud,
Higher
basically.
enlightenment.
You can't.
That's what you're calling it now. Higher
Yeah,
enlightenment.
yeah, that's what I'm calling it. Yeah, because
Yeah,
if you're getting
higher enlightenment.
if
That's
you're
a good one.
if you're getting blown by someone who's woke, then you're achieving high enlightenment.
Right.
False.
Yeah, everyone,
Okay.
and then they always try to
Whatever
act
helps
so.
you sleep at night.
Like I said, it's a dual-sided sword too, because it's like, oh, we're by being woke, we're somehow more desirable and more attractive to men. It's like, no, that's basically
America's
you choose not to shave your armpits because razors are bad for the environment and there's no non-GMO shaving cream, and you're just too lazy to actually fucking just like maintain your body hair. And this is like a problem that I see is happening. It's like if a guy decides to make a decision, he basically accepts the full brunt of like all of the cannons and everything that's going to be launched his way. But if a girl decides to make a decision, then it's all of a sudden it's just everyone supports her.
Well, you know what? You
Because
want to know
like
what?
I said, Prince Harry had to make that decision.
How
No
we
one
found
else was
like
going
talk
to make
about
that
how
decision.
no, it's not even that. You know what the thing I always found bullshit about that shit is it's okay. Well, I'm shaving my I'm not shaving my legs because I want to save the universe and there's no
Yeah, yeah.
biodegradable recyclable razors, but you'll sit up here and
Mhm.
buy your man a Gillette razor now.
It's called a straight razor. Learn how to use it.
No. I'm talking about women don't want to do this because they're trying to save the world, but they'll buy their man a Gillette razor though and Gillette
I know.
shaving cream. Let that shit sink.
Yeah. Or they'll drive to the grocery store in their
Every
car just so they can
a game
virtue
clock
signal to
definitely.
everyone.
Yeah, like they
Oh
basically they'll
yeah,
basically buy their
it's
man
all a
razors and
competition.
shit like that.
Yeah, when can I get this man at his best and tear him down? Like how far can I tear somebody down? If I tear somebody from the ground level to the foundation, that's not as bad as or it's not as good as if I tear somebody from the 55th floor down to the second floor. Like it's always a competition to see who can cause the most destruction. And that's why feminists are called domestic terrorists.
That's why I
You
call
want
him
you want to
domestic terror.
know the funny thing about Boris, and he was to go back home, he would get nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
If Prince Harry was Harry or whatever the fuck his name was to go back home, while they got a divorce, he would get nothing.
Mhm.
He gets nothing. And the sad part about that is,
Yeah.
even if she filed for child support, she would still get nothing.
Yeah. Um. Well, yeah, because he doesn't. I don't even understand how it works in a royal family. Do you get like an
You don't pay. You don't
allowance
have to
from
pay.
the queen?
You don't have to
Or what? Oh,
pay. No,
damn.
you don't have
See, this is where we could actually
because
use like a
Princess
rose
Diana
blades
Princess Diana
house
got nothing
episode.
when she rolled out. Basically, Princess Diana when she divorced what's his
Yeah.
name got nothing.
Oh, America's DeVille. That's so funny. Yeah, this is literally like Building 7. Like, how did this shit set ablaze? No one knows. It's like, what the hell is going on? And it's like, I just think it's kind of it's so tragic, but at the same time, it's just like it's so funny to watch all this stuff happen and be red pilled and just like see the rest of it, just like see how that kind of translates into my world. Like now, because this happens, it's like no one is going to actually change. Everybody who's royalty is still going to marry this random person from America, right? Because that's how our society is geared to be. So it's like in order to keep the
You could be a
illusion of
princess too. Yeah,
yeah, everyone can be Frozen, can be
yeah, I know, right?
freaking everybody can be Rapunzel, and no one has to shave. Everyone just let all their hair grow out like Rapunzel, except they're braiding their freaking armpit hair into the long ass rope for the guy to climb down. And
Ugh.
it's like, I know, I don't even want to think about that. But the thing is like there's nothing that's going to
Hammer
stop
toes.
this. And it's like Karen wants Prince Harry's relationship to basically finalize so that he can be on the market again and have the same thing happen to him. And it's like if Prince Harry starts to make a YouTube channel because he has nothing left and he comes to the community like for money, grifting and stuff, it's like I'll subscribe to him. I'll
I
like his
subscribe to Henry.
videos. I'll
let's
put him
subscribe to
in.
Harry.
Yeah, bring him on the forum.
Oh, I would definitely bring him on the forum.
Yeah, bring him on the forum and see if we could hook him up with like roast blades or something. Like,
Man, we need to decuckify Harry. I'm telling you. Here's the problem. If the people around him couldn't decuckify him, what makes you think we could?
Well, you also got to take into consideration too. He actually grew up Disney, literally Disney, because he's a prince.
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Ben.
but do you really think they took it easy on him in the military?
His brother on the other hand is actually red pill. He married the right girl. You don't hear no shit from her. You don't hear no peep from her. She's basically doing her thing. Hell, I think Prince Harry should have married Pippa. That'd have been a better fit, and she'd have sat right in. Because Pippa looks better than both her cousin and her Angela Merkel, or whatever the fuck her name is, Meghan Merkel, whatever the fuck her name is.
Karen Markle.
Yeah, she looks way better than Merkel. Pippa. He should have married Pippa.
He should have been like, bitch, how dare you not take my name? I'm just saying, man.
She didn't even take his name?
Well, they call her Merkel, right? Her last name is Merkel?
I think they call her that for acting purposes, so she could be an actress still, quote unquote, a fake ass actress.
An actress.
Yeah, she's an actress. I think that's her pen name for acting.
Well, maybe she took it officially, but
it's kind of like how to use The Rock, and even though he's not The Rock, technically Dwayne Dwight Johnson.
That's America's is on the money with this.
Mistake was marrying an American.
True story.
That's his mistake.
Definitely.
Was dating an American.
What was
That's
he
his first mistake
thinking?
was courting her. His first mistake was courting an American. Second mistake was dating the American.
Rubbernecking a train.
Third mistake was
train
marrying him. And his fourth mistake will be whatever the fallout is of this.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's probably not
But the
gonna
best
learn that
decision,
concept.
but the best decision he'll ever make the best decision he'll ever make in his whole life will be to dump that bitch.
he could have married.
Him first.
Think about it. He could have. I'm not saying Ivanka is hot or anything like that, but think about it. I'm just saying.
You could
I
have
was
made it.
married for the longest time. That would have never happened.
Yeah.
Just saying. Think about it. He could have had anybody in the fucking world, right? Because he's Prince Harry. Any bitch would have just
All right.
anyone.
Just imagine how ridiculous that would be if Prince Harry married Ivanka Trump. You know how much
would
of a
be
power
ridiculous.
couple that would be? That would be ridiculous.
That would be more than like Jay-Z and Beyonce. That would be like,
That would make Jay-Z Beyonce look like fucking Sherelle to CNA
Bonnie
and
and Clyde.
Sherelle to CNA and
Clyde.
But no,
and,
but see, that's
Ray
just
Ray
it.
the
Ron and
drug
Hermione.
dealer.
Here's Ivanka running after fucking Jared Kushner. That's a joke right there. And then Harry's running after Meghan Merkel. You got both of them going in the wrong fucking direction.
Well, all the high status men in America are like they're just like it depending on their level of red pill awareness. Like high status men in America are kind of like lower than just like they're lower than like some of the other men across the globe. Even though they have like a lot of wealth, they usually give that over to a woman at some point in their life.
Bingo.
It's just sad. It's just sad. It's like it's not real wealth if you're just gonna lose it all to someone who's gonna be a welfare queen.
Hookers and blow, basically.
I would rather.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're rich in America, you're basically blowing your shit on hookers and blow.
Yeah.
That's literally
I
all
would
it is.
rather give my wealth to an orphan.
Like
It
someone.
would be more productive.
Oh shit. Karen's complaining about not being able to shop because she doesn't have a mask on.
I
Sorry.
believe it.
Karen's can't shop. And the thing is
Your
like
manager.
she should have had a mask on this whole time, but now we're telling her to put one on. Now she's getting all offended.
Yep.
So it's really sad. That's the saddest part about that. The saddest part about that.
But that's gonna be your new logo now.
What?
Hustling
Yeah.
backwards. What I just sent. Well, it's no, because that has it is part of my like real name. So
Yeah, no.
But, like,
That's what I
yeah,
said.
that
Why
would
you
be,
gonna put
like-
that as your logo?
well, it was just what we were talking about like the inward the symbology using the symbols, creating like
Well, I
a
know
symbol
that,
out
but
of the
don't use
letters.
your real name though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit of a touchy subject, especially when you're a content creator. It's like, yeah, you don't want to do stuff like that.
Use your real name.
But
I would use like your channel name now and put that like that basically, or put
yeah,
LeBaron
BYP,
Yam.
B,
L
yeah,
L
or
L L
LB.
LBY,
LBY, yeah.
LBY. Yeah, that would be actually. I'm gonna actually draw some stuff up for that. The thing is like I actually like S Pen and Note 9 for that, but the thing is like my S Pen actually like part of it broke off, but it still works. It's weird. I think I'm gonna have to get a new S Pen.
Oh yeah, they're not that expensive. Only $35.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit. But I want to get like a sturdy one that maybe still
Cheaper
is
than iPhone.
compatible.
You know,
Yeah,
I
cheaper
can't.
than like,
That's
it's like
one thing I
iPhone
can't
screen
blame
break
you.
or S Pen. Yeah.
That's one thing I can't blame you
What?
for, because the tips on these stupid S Pens are fucking cheap as hell. Fuck you, Samsung, for making them so cheap, because I've already busted like 2 tips on the fucking
Oh, the
S6S.
tips always go.
Yeah,
The tips always go.
fucking pissed,
6S.
man.
What is a 6S? 6S.
S6, sorry, it's a tablet.
Note 9. Oh, the S6 tablet. Well, the thing is like it's not the tip of the tab or the pens for me. It's like the back and the clicky part. It's like I don't know whether or not it's not like cemented in properly, but it's like it literally snapped off. So like
Wow.
the thing that actually comes into contact with the screen is fine, but like yeah, some of this other stuff. That's why I'm gonna look into that, and then I'll be able to draw up like a new logo. But that I kind of was going to. Oh yeah. Another thing I was gonna bring up was like the whole I can do bad all by myself. I hear that a lot, and then I think it's in somebody's intro or something where it's like, tons of women are dating down, and then like the guy and the news anchor is like, well, how are you dating down then if you're gonna be all picky about what you want? And then she's like, I can do bad all by myself, and it's kind of like their last move, like their last checkmate before that they try to force a man to go his own way, is to say I can do bad all by myself. What do you guys think about that? Have you ever heard somebody say that? And it's like that's like their last resort.
I heard people say that.
Their desperate attempt to, or they'll say something equivalent like, oh, I'm just the best and I don't need a man, or like something like that. And it's just, I mean, it's ironic.
I don't need a man. I'm strong. I'm a strong, independent woman, or something like that. They'll basically use every single iteration of that bullshit.
It's kind of like this far without a man. Right? It's like they don't need a man, but they need a man to see them saying they don't need a man in order to not need a man. It's like,
yeah.
I need you to know that I don't need you.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And I need you to be here to see. I need you to be here to see that I don't need you.
Yeah. And what's weird is like with other women that you actually will like trust, they don't ever say I don't need a man or anything, because it's more like, and that's why you're like, oh damn, she actually doesn't look like she needs me. But a person that says I don't need a man, you're telling me that you need me by saying that.
Sure.
Let me break this to you.
That's basically that yes means that means that basically I mean that's that no means yes type shit right there.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Let me break something. I said this before.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference between independent and N-dependent. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why when I was in college, I just rejected rape culture and said, like, if you try to talk about not needing a man and stuff, you're basically promoting somebody to basically take you when you don't want them, as opposed to just not saying anything, and then when the right person comes along, just being like, I like you. Isn't that more genuine and honest than being like, I don't need a man, but I'm going to go out and dress all scantily and drink a lot and then like talk to the man, but I don't need him. It's like, well, you want him as your little entertainment project. But what happens when your entertainment project goes from Bruce Banner to the Hulk, and then just like destroys you and like basically like beats you up or
Well, the
knocks
sad
you
part
out
about
and
that,
tries.
women enjoy that stuff. That's the
Yeah,
sad
yeah,
part. That's why they always kind of like the joke that Chris Rock made about the you never know what's going to happen in the relationship next, basically type thing. If you're dating a crackhead or something like that, or if you're dating somebody with drama, it always brings drama up. Women enjoy
Mm.
drama. That pretty much. What do you think? What do you think? Fake fake reality TV so damn popular. Women love drama
hmm
They create it on
because
purpose
that's what.
sometimes.
Yeah. Women will create drama on purpose just so they can actually feel like get some entertainment out of the shit. It's kind of like how we always talk about how women will start a fight between two men and say this shit happened basically, or they'll
yeah.
go out of
And
their
then that's the
way.
thing.
They'll go out of
That's
their
what you're
way at a
talking about.
bar to walk past
Yeah,
another man so they can whistle at them or holler at them or grab their ass or shit like that just so they can come back and tell you
that's
that this man did
that's
this to me basically so they can get
that's
your
what
ass
you're
in a
talking
fight.
about.
That's
hmm
basically drama basically.
when men do that too, they're like, "Oh, I heard." So, like in a conversation between men, like you said something about women going to college and how if they had the college experience, you would never date them. And this woman has something to say about that. She says that your mentality is flawed. What do you think about that? What is your response? And
I think
they use their understanding of female nature to sort of put down other men and make other men feel like have to be obligated to stand up and defend themselves against something when it's just a tactic that they use to create more views and create tabloids and create rumors and to basically to create a drama sphere where
you know.
they have more power than they actually do because they're using all this like mental gymnastics and stuff to sort of
And,
make the
and
narrative favor them.
the sad part about that is like what people don't know about me is I've actually dated women that actually are college educated, but they don't get too ridiculous with it. You would never know they're college educated though. They don't say my degree, my degree, my degree. Like I never heard Mina once say her degree. She
Yeah.
was a doctor. I never heard her say her degree.
Yeah, like you're telling me that you're stupid if you all you talk about is that you went to
You're
school.
you're dumber than a fucking box of rocks.
Yes.
If you tell
No,
me
box.
if you
Dumber
can't tell
than
me
boxes
anything,
of rocks.
basically, if you can't tell me anything other than your degree, you can't tell me about yourself, what got you here, your family, something about you outside of your degree, then you're dumber than a box of rocks to me.
No,
hmm
I mean for me, it's dumber than the boxes, but than boxes
So
of rocks. You know,
that's besides the
boxes
point.
of
Big
rocks.
Count Len. That's besides the point. I'm being serious here. But like the sad
Yeah,
part about that, if you can't tell me nothing about yourself, then you're stupid to me. You're very
that
stupid to
works.
me because you ain't got nothing to say outside of my degree, my degree, my degree.
Yeah. And then
Nigga,
it goes
nigga,
it
I got
flips
like five
though,
or six
Tico.
of them. But you don't hear me talking about them.
Yeah.
If you
Or
get,
but then the thing is like with flips though when people talk because actually it's the same thing like the education, but when they
Hmm?
always talk about their kids and how they don't they always have to take care of them, or when they talk about their boyfriend or their significant other and stuff, it's like they're telling you stuff about their life, but you have to discern between them telling you stuff about their life for attention and they're telling you something about them for for the value that it adds to the relationship that
For
you do
validation,
have. It's
basically.
kind of like
And the sad part about that is my thoughts on that was
when a stranger will come about. Yeah,
my thoughts on
yeah,
that
yeah.
is
Go ahead.
when somebody tells you something about their relationship or they're complaining about something like their kids or their relationship, I merely say, was I there when you picked them? I'm gonna need you to keep me out of this fucking conversation. That's exactly what I tell them. I wasn't there, so I'm gonna need you to keep me out of your conversation. Because last I checked,
Mhm.
we just met in the house. I was never your friend. I'm not your friend, so therefore I'm gonna need you to take that bullshit elsewhere.
Yeah,
right.
it only matters if you're there, if you actually
If
have
I had
anything to
something
do
to
with
do
it. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
with it,
I
if I hooked y'all up, significant other.
I
If
told
I didn't hook you up, then I don't need to hear about that shit.
Yeah.
me. I this one chick that I served with. She asked me for a friend request. I told her this. Look, the second you start posting where are all the good men, I'm gonna give you the answer. You're not gonna get the answer. That's pretty much what I did. I told her.
Thanks for showing up, corruption. It smells like corruption.
But it's like, well, a good man, because I'm probably more likely to say something like they're hiding away from you.
I like that one. I like this one. I like this one better than MiGTOW and the Winds. It's about to pop up on the screen now.
Well, it's true that they don't. It's true that they are dumber than a rocks with no box. Because if you look at it, the phrase, "Yeah, I can do bad all by myself," or "I don't need a man." The truth is like they don't. In order to do what they want to do, which I mean, if you look at crime of passion statistics and like women who murder men or get them or slit their throat in public. Which I remember, I just was listening to one of those past live streams where you're like Tico talking about a woman just slitting a guy's throat, and it's like it's a joke. It's like
yes,
they
literally said that crap. It was a joke. Like, slit the man's throat in public and literally said it was a joke. Can't you take a joke, bro?
They can't.
Like me, I'm sitting there applying pressure to this man's neck, and the cops are looking at her like she's crazy. Like, no, she really said that shit.
But the point is with that, it's like even though they are capable of doing evil things by themselves, they always want to put the blame onto, well, he can't take a joke, or it's his fault. Or where have all the good men
his neck
gone?
should have been a little stronger. Or he should have been
walking away from me. It's the good man's fault for walking away from me that I'm alone.
They should have done a better job.
They should have done a better job, and that's something that they can never reconcile with, because even though they can do bad all by themselves, like, bitch, you're still lonely, and you still are stupid, and you still need a man to train you on this job.
And the sad part about that, despite the fact that you said all that, Yam, at the end of the day, they have in common that, like, all these crimes that they commit and all this shit that they did, you said a man was there, so they needed a man to commit those crimes, basically. Crime of passion, they needed a man.
When you smother your kids, it's like it's the man's fault when you smother your kids.
Yeah, because he left you, you divorced him and shit like that, basically. It's his fault.
You ever heard of Machine Gun Kelly? Who's ever heard of Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, I don't want to, but I heard of him.
Skinny white rapper guy?
No, not him.
I knew you were going to say that.
Machine Gun Kelly.
The real one, not the pussy.
The real one.
The real motherfucker, not the pussy.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. Wait.
That man was led on by a woman to commit all of those robberies. She basically said, I won't date you unless you master this Tommy gun like it's your own. Like it's your own extension of your body. And it's like, you know the funny
Al
thing about
Capone,
it is?
Scarface, a lot of tropes where the man is propelled by the woman. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Hell,
that's
what is it? God of War? No, not God of War. What was it?
Scarface.
No, it was the one with Nicolas Cage where he sold guns. He was compelled by a woman to basically get rich. They can actually date her and take her from the other man.
Well, yeah, and it's like the woman's always associated with crime. Like you have to do bad things in order to get access to the woman. You have to.
Was it warlords?
Let's see.
No, it was
Con Air.
Bonnie and Clyde.
No, it wasn't Con Air. What the hell was the name of it? True Sherm did a review on that movie too. Oh shit! What was the name of that movie? Where Nicolas Cage played the gun sales. I mean,
I know which one you're talking about. I just can't
killer.
think of the goddamn name. Damn it!
Lord of War. The Lord of War.
Lord of War. Lord of War.
But it's like
2005 Lord of War. Yeah, 2005. Wow.
The thing is, like the thing is
15 years ago. It's fucking 15 years ago. God damn it.
Oh fuck.
But freaking Machine Gun Kelly, Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie was actually married to somebody else.
Yeah, she was.
She was actually married to somebody else.
That shit's sinking.
And this guy simped out.
Or Tupac and Jada.
And he's more badass than this punk rocker that you speak of.
Right. The real
Everybody who's
machine
a
So-
bad boy everybody who's a bad boy
I think
always.
the most gangsterous bad boy was Billy the Kid.
So
Right.
here we
He
go.
used to
You know
rob
what?
everybody. He used to rob everybody at gunpoint and say please and thank you while he did it, and then sorry.
So Tico,
Huh?
Tico. So I want you to write this in history, and one who comes in here that says that a badass can't be a simp. There you go.
I agree with that. A badass can be a simp. Shit. I say that in a
I know
heartbeat.
you
A
do.
badass
I
can
know
be a
you
simp.
do.
Most
But I'm saying,
badasses are simps.
I'm saying, you know how I'm not mentioning names or anything like that, but bitches be coming in here trying to say that MiGTOW is not this because you got this or fuck that.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, next time somebody comes in here saying that you can't be a badass and a simp, there is your example, Machine Gun
Proof.
Kelly, the real one.
Do you know? You want to know one thing? The difference is between people who are simping and people who have nobody to simp to. The thing is,
Well, yeah.
we have no attachment. People who
Yeah.
have no attachments can be more creative and give less of a damn. You know?
Well, and this is gonna sound I'm gonna need you guys to like clarify this for me, but it's like what Wynn's saying is correct. It's like people want to say women are the gatekeepers of sex, and it's like
Yeah.
you want to say no, just no. To say that
Gatekeepers
is
of sex.
promoting rape
Men
culture.
are the gatekeepers to relationships.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like to acknowledge that fact that women are gatekeepers of sex basically promotes rape culture because it's like somebody storming the gates. It's like who's storming this? Wait. Let me just clarify. Who's storming the American women's gates in this society? It's not red pillars or MGTOW. It's definitely
Well,
not. No one's storming
The sad
any
part
of
about
those gates.
that. The sad part about that is it's not the fact that they're storming the gates. It's the fact that they live if the gates open. Storm something that's open. It's kind of
So I
like
got a
the
question.
difference between it's the difference between
Walt's right
what's the
in.
difference between a Muslim woman and an American woman?
Muslim woman has coverings and they keep their legs closed for the most part.
And an American
Not
woman.
true.
I mean, American women. They keep their. I don't even know. I'd have no experience. With
And the
Muslim
sad part
women,
about
so I
that
can't- I
is
care.
the sad part about that is Muslim women are less likely to be raped women.
Because they wear
Let that
clothes.
sink in.
Really?
10 Muslim women are less likely to be raped than one American woman or one woman from the UK, period.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? 10 to 1.
Well, it's the
No,
way
the
that
number's
we
probably even higher.
dissect. It's this PUA culture.
Because
It's like we talk about this stuff so much that it fuels like our unconscious
Can I take a
bias
crack at it?
towards like seeing women as like these creatures, these like gentle
Can I take a crack
creatures
at
and
it?
stuff. Whereas like, yeah, go ahead, Wayne. Yeah, keep it
First
going.
off, I want you to look at the clothes. I want you to look at the clothing of American women versus the clothing of a Muslim woman or a Middle Eastern woman. What are the two key differences that cross your mind?
Hell, I'm even do you one better.
Wait. Give me a second. I'm doing this systematically. They're
Down, so we don't need to break it down anymore.
Right.
I'm gonna make it easier. I'm gonna make it easier with something much more closer to like U.S. basically. The Latin women are more conservative. It's just facts.
Right.
I mean, if you ever look at a Latin woman, like half the time they might wear form-fitting stuff, but they're more covered than an American woman is on a college campus. And the sad part about that is I always talk about it like this. It'd be like this is what women try to do basically. It's like, look, it's this. Women dangling their goods out there would be no different than if you were to put a crackhead in a house with a bunch of crack.
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
well, they establish a line of credit, and then they run that line dry, and they overcharge it, and then all of a sudden they don't look the same way that they used to, and
Oh
then
yeah,
that basically all that
then
credit
it's a
that they
problem
use
then.
is gone.
And the sad part about that is
Right.
what I mean by that. What I mean by that is when they do this shit, when they do this stupid shit, it's just the fact that look, what you can't do, tell me that you should be able to do whatever you want, when in fact, like I said, 10% of the population does the most cruelest, vilest things to the human body, and or animals. But you believe
My
that
body,
you should
my
be able to walk
choice.
around like this. I mean,
So
it's your
let me
body, your choice.
let me ask you.
Like I said, though, but when it comes to women, I'm not going to always be there to protect you from that 10% of men,
I know,
or the
I say it
10% of people that do very vile, horrible shit to the human body and in our animals in the process. And the sad part about that, as of late, that numbers went up from 10% to 15% now of people who would do vile, sick shit to any human being on the face of this fucking earth. So if they'll do anything to any human being or any living thing on the face of this earth, what the fuck do you think you'll do to you?
And on a side with wind, it's like you can't unsee something that is blatantly advertised. So like that's why a Muslim woman is different. There are somebody who's completely covered is different than a person who's like always just walks around with everything hanging out. I can't unsee that, and so if it changes,
top of that,
I'm going to be disappointed.
The behavior is what I was going to get into
Well,
next.
hold on. Before you get into it next,
that's what I said.
before you get into it next, let me hit rewind for a second. You know, so one of the things you said, Yam, is women women claim to be gatekeepers of sex sometimes. Narrative speaks.
Well, that's actually a manosphere thing. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. They are. If you keep your legs shut, then you don't have to worry about this shit. Or if you keep your legs shut, then you don't have to worry about this shit.
So let me ask you. So let me ask you a question. Just hearing thoughts.
But then just to go while he's getting back, it's like if you don't see anything, if you only show your partner how you look, then it could change, and no one else will notice. So then the society, like, you're not going to be affected by how other people see it as much as because you only have your partner who's seen all of you, and then nothing else is really shown to anybody else.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah, you can hear you. We've been heard you.
Okay.
You just kept falling out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My connection keeps dropping.
Oh.
Like, I want to hear what your thoughts are, and if it's considered a way. I hear a lot, and I don't understand quite how dynamic can play. Right, so a woman consistently in a marriage, right? So a woman in a marriage consistently says no to her man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Abuse.
keeping sex from him.
That's basically the control. That's basically
During
the
the marriage. But no, it's
it
not.
Doesn't matter.
It's not abuse, Yam. It's not abuse. Control, right? In a sense, because of the control, it is then regarded as abuse, but initially it is control. So control, why? Like, what would be who would be cruel enough to do something like that to their wife or husband?
Yeah,
the sad part about that.
The sad part about gender with a broad brush.
Yeah, the sad part about that shit is the sad part about that. When it comes down to it, women are more likely to do that than men are.
Yeah,
they're more willing to.
Like, a man's more likely to give a woman attention than a woman's gonna give a man.
And that makes sense because I usually get that from
this is why
male.
This is why women are the gatekeepers of sex.
Mm-hmm.
So then let me ask the next thing.
The sad part about that, before you ask that question, remember way back when in the United States, women basically got together and said, we're not going to give our men sex unless they pass this rule or pass this law in the United States. The law was passed because no man got sex, basically.
Huh.
Yeah.
And now we're saying we're not going to pay attention to women
laws back in the day. A lot of the laws were passed back in the day because women withheld sex from their senator or governor husbands, basically.
Huh.
And if it wasn't
women
passed that
got
way,
together in a
if it wasn't
coalition
passed that
and
way, and they couldn't
unionized
agree,
sex.
somebody would say they couldn't agree on that. Somebody would say, well, if we don't pass this law, black men will do this and then rape their white women. And that was another
and the
way they
thing is,
passed
like,
laws back in the day too.
That's some
and
psycho shit, man.
Martin Luther King was like, I had a wet dream where I actually got laid because my wife was telling me, no, I can't get no play. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. That's what he was talking about.
Well, apparently, according to everybody around the Martin Luther King family, apparently Coretta was a very generous wife, basically.
Oh, she was a freak.
She was pretty much, according to everybody that's surrounded them, she was a very generous wife. She actually believed in you should never leave your husband. You should leave your husband with empty balls and a full stomach, basically.
And that's when MiGTOW on the Wind said that once. You'll never understand the older population until you see a video of them in action. You know, you always think that they were all a bunch of prudes, that they never did shit with shit. And the reality is, it's like, yeah, there were freaks back in the day, and there were also women who were trying to use sex as a tool back in the day.
A good example of that is my grandparents. My grandparents. Remember I told you a story about my grandparents? I had to move their room. They were next door to me, and then they decided that they wanted to have a happy session. I don't want to hear that shit next to me. I don't want to know my grandparents are having sex. Like, come on now, no. Yeah. I mean, y'all to pretend like y'all don't do it. So I know that I know that the older generation does it. I know that the older generation does it. I do know that. And the sad part about that is, I just don't want the image of my grandparents knowing that my grandparents are doing it in the next room over, basically. In my head, that's just wrong. But I know that they do this, and I know that they are freaks, and I know that they're not prudes, basically. But the sad part about that is, you also can think of too. Everybody in my generation and up are basically conservative compared to this generation, basically. So they never put their business out there. Like a good example of that, they never put their business out there in the open like they do now for the most part. You see what I'm saying?
They didn't have to.
But I'm saying in society now. Society now.
It's not even that they didn't have to. It's not even the fact that they didn't have to. It's not the fact that they didn't have to. It's the fact that they had respect for themselves not to.
Yeah. And now showing respect for yourself and being alone and stuff is like seen as
the difference between the people now and the people then is they have respect for their family name and the family and their significant other. So when they went out in public, they know they represented the whole entire family. Nowadays, everybody want to be individuals and shit like that, and like they ain't represent somebody else. This is what fucked up society is because everybody's trying to represent themselves versus trying to actually remember that they're actually a part of a bigger mass of people. Everybody wants to be individuals. And the sad part about that is, the funny thing about that is, it's funny how if a woman goes out and do something, it's acceptable. If a husband goes out and he gets drunk and falls down, apparently it's wrong. You see what I'm saying? But if a woman goes out and she sucks a man's dick in the club, we can all keep that quiet and we can not talk about that because it's apparently her body, her choice, even though she's married. It's kind of like all these female teachers now that are getting arrested for and getting slaps on the wrist for probation or 1 year in prison or 5 years in prison for sexually assaulting children underage now in these schools. It's perfectly fine for them to do it. Is how they're basically how the legal system is basically painting it. It's perfectly fine for women to do it, but it's not okay for men to do it. I mean, it's not okay across the board either way you look at it. It's wrong. What's wrong is what's wrong is what's wrong. It's wrong across the board. And the sad part about that is we give them a lighter sentence or we give them a slap on the wrist. Because at the same time, think about that. Anytime a man got brought up on charges for the same shit,
we don't live in a matriarchy.
That nigga, and when I say nigga, white, black, Chinese, Puerto Rican, and Asian, he got the full maximum. He got anywhere between 10 to 25 years in prison for the shit. But when a woman does it to a child in school, she only gets 5. No matter how many children she do it to, she got multiple counts of this shit. She's getting 5 years. The man can have one count of this shit. The man can have one count of this shit, and he's getting 12 to 25 years in prison. Whereas a woman can have 6 or 7 kids, and there's been cases where female teachers have 6 or 7 kids, sending nude texts and shit like that. On top of that, which is another charge by itself, that she's gonna be serving time for, she'll get like 5 years or 7 years.
And that's universal. It's from culture to culture. It's not actually. It's not. Doesn't matter if it's in America or another country. That's the way that men are always affected worldwide.
Yeah.
Let me break this to you. We don't live in a matriarchy. We don't live in a patriarchy. We live in a hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If that was a freaking form of government, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the sad part about that is we don't live in a hypocrisy. And I hate when people say stupid shit like that. We don't live in a hypocrisy. We live in a world where we still view women as the fairer sex, basically. That's all it is. That's not hypocrisy. It's basically how we view women in this world. And I hate when people say that stupid shit because that's not what it is. We still view women, no matter how far we advance, no matter how far we come as a society, we will always view women as a fairer sex or the weaker sex, basically. No matter how many leaps and bounds. And
until we get the super serum, the super soldier serum.
Be serious. Like, and it doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter how much we advance. It doesn't matter how much women force for their more rights. The sad part about that is women know this, that we view them as a fairer sex, so they can get away with all this shit. That's the reason. Until a man actually puts his foot down and goes, "Look, you want to take responsibility, like just like everybody else have to take responsibility for this shit." Until the law and a man puts his foot down and say, "Look, this is how this got to work." Because if you want all these rights, you want all these privileges, you want to be equal, you got to equal time, equal crime, basically. Equal crime, equal time. And the sad part about that is nobody's willing to do that because, like I said, we all view women, even women view women, even though they want to be equal. Women view women and men view women as the fairer sex. This is how it's okay for a woman to say, "Well, I believe it's okay for her to slap her husband in her face, though. But it's not okay for a man to hit a woman." Okay, cool. Women still believe this shit. It's the same that goes for like this feminism shit. Women want to be able to go to school, but they want the man to still make more money than them. See what I'm saying? So they still view themselves as the fairer sex, no matter what. They want their man to make more money than them, no matter what. Ain't no woman finna date a man that's broker than her, basically. Unless it's like true love, which is very rare. Very rarely does that ever fucking happen.
I still think
true
we live in a patriarchy. I changed my mind, but I still think we live in a patriarchy. To be honest,
I'm about to get to that, Yam. This is why it is a patriarchy still.
Yeah.
Because we view women as a fairer sex. And women believe this shit. Even feminists. If you talk to a feminist long enough, you'll find out she wants the same thing that the traditional woman wants, or any woman in the rest of the world. Because, like they said, when they took that survey about men who are chauvinistic and pigs that will slap your ass and grab your hair, feminists overwhelmingly voted for this more than a regular woman did. They like misogynistic men. It's just fucking fact. More than a regular.
Oh, they like misogynistic yams too. They like misogynistic sweet potatoes. They really do.
Misogynistic men more than the average woman do. It's just fact. They took surveys on this. In various colleges.
Because, like, I like to
actually enjoy being.
Because, like, at the same, that's why I don't think we live in a matriarchy, because the opinion of women is still is not the most, like, if the opinion of women was the highest source of credibility, then I would start to contemplate whether or not it's more ambiguous. But since a man is always co-signing and rubber stamping the bullshit and is always creating the red tape for other men to basically get screwed over, that's why I think we still live in a patriarchy. Because even though you want to argue, even though a woman wants to,
I never argued against that shit.
I didn't say. Well, I was saying, even though a woman wants to argue that a nice
guy and the sad part about that is
doesn't finish last. I always know the truth.
Here's the thing about that, Jam, and I'm actually breaking down for you why it's still a patriarchy, but it's a hybrid of a patriarchy and something else. The sad part about that is women want to be equal, so that's gynocentrism. That's a gynocracy. That's gynocentrism 101, equality. However, women want to reserve the right to not be responsible for the shit that they do. Patriarchy. So they want patriarchy and gynocentrism, egalitarianism and They went I'm sorry. They went egalitarianism and patriarchy at the same damn time. So they want to be equal to men, if not better than men. Well, they want to be equal to men, but they want to reserve the right to not take responsibility. It's kind of like how they say, "Well, I'm not the 1950 woman." Well, back in the 1950s and earlier, if a woman did something wrong, the husband had to take responsibility for it. See what I'm saying? This is why you can get all the op-eds nowadays about women saying, "Well, if it's his fault." They basically want all the same rules from the 1950s and 40s
Well,
to
that
apply to
man
them
is employing
nowadays
her to say
with all the
that
shit that they
bullshit.
want to do for the most part. And this is why we're in a mess that we're in now because of
That
this shit.
man, the editor is employing her to say that bullshit and co-signing on all of it, and she does without vetting that person. So the male
Well, it's
editor
not
or
even
the female
it's
editor,
not even
or
a
what?
male
It doesn't
editor.
matter.
It's not even a male editor. It's their mentality. They want this. They want egalitarianism and patriarchy at the same be equal, but they don't want to take none of the responsibilities of being equal. Like a good example of that is as a went in somewhere and said, "Did you really think about this, Lazo? There's consequences to your choices." And my daughter Talia went in there and said, "I want this too." Well, Talia, there's responsibilities for this. If you don't if shit goes south for both of them, both Lazo and Talia, it wasn't really shit. I'm just using it as an example. If shit goes south, Lazo would be like, "Okay, I fucked up. I fucked up really badly." He wouldn't really say I fucked up, but he would just say I messed up really badly on that one. Maybe I made the wrong decision on this one. Talia, on the other hand, would say, "Not my fault. It was broke when I got it." It's like, or it's the guy who sold me his fault, or it's my daddy's fault, or it's my brother's fault. Basically, that's what they want. They want to be able to pass the blame while being equal at the same damn time. That's all it is. So it's egalitarianism it's a hybrid of egalitarianism and patriarchy at the same damn time is what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
They
Well,
want
it's
to be
like it's
equal,
hard looking.
but they don't
It's
want to
hard
take they
looking
don't
at
want
it
to
to
take the fall
figure
off
out
to
what it
being equal.
is.
Basically, it'd be like this. If I walk in a store right now and I decided that I wanted to punch out everybody in the store, then I walked out and said, "Well, everybody in the store deserved it. I don't think I should get arrested for that. I don't think I should be charged for that." That's basically what women want in a nutshell. They want to be able to do the shit that they do, but they don't want none of the responsibility to go with the shit. They want to be able to
Yeah.
pass it. They basically want the 1950s choices where all the bullshit goes to the husband. Basically, like if a woman breaks something out of the store, the husband's got to pay for it.
Yeah. And that's what makes it hard for them to date a guy that lives with his parents, because it's always it would always be perceived as the woman's fault if anything were to go wrong with the relationship, because it's like, hey, you came into this house.
Legit.
It was your
You
choice.
broke into this house. It was your
They
choice.
You
don't
broke
want
into
to.
this house.
And the sad part about that,
They
that'd be
don't
the
want
only
the
time.
agency.
That'd be the only time. Well, there's more times than that. That'd be one of the few times where the woman of the son basically breaks own group preference and says that bitch fucked up. Basically, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, where she
That's
says like,
basically what it is.
"Yes, it's
Like,
your own
or
damn fault." Because
I see this with a lot of women that I work with is they marry
Go
somebody
ahead,
that's a
Tico. But
mama's boy.
I got something to say
If
about
they
that
marry
too. Yeah.
somebody, if they marry somebody that's a mama's boy,
Let me
they'll
bring.
say, "Well, my mother-in-law this, my mother-in-law that." Well, you knew they were like that when you met them. Why
Yeah,
the fuck did you even continue marrying the man? Now you
Go
try to
ahead, Wayne.
pass the blame off. Now you're trying to pass the blame off on him, but in fact, it's actually you that chose to be in this relationship with that man.
Right,
You knew that
right.
man
Go
was
ahead, Wayne.
fucked
Go
up.
ahead, Wayne.
You knew that man was fucked up when you took him. In other words,
let me. I'm gonna say something here. Back then, the women knew not to act a fool because that would affect the man's social class and ability to earn.
yeah,
Ability,
we already stated that when we basically stated that when I said they want the 1950s view without taking responsibility. I basically said that when I said they want egalitarian of
He's
them.
summarizing.
And,
He's
and
summarizing. Yeah.
I basically summarized when they said they want egalitarianism and patriarchy at the same damn time. That's a summary right
All right.
there.
I think he's paraphrasing what you said in his own words.
Go
I
ahead.
mean that's pretty much what I wanted to say, but you pretty much took words out of my mouth. You know?
But yeah, Tico has that
back.
ability.
Give him
Tico
back.
does that to people. Tico does that to people, so you can't really underestimate him. But the thing that I wanted to say is, and partially sometimes he does it for your benefit, so you don't have to waste breath, which we do enough arguing with these hoes and stuff. But like the one thing that I wanted to, don't ever argue, man. Don't ever argue. But like, the thing that I noticed mostly is like, because the way that the economy is structured, I mean, I don't know too much about. We'd have to get Jaguar in here to actually give us like a good shake. And I know a lot of us here are experts in their own right with regard to the economy. But like, if a young person, you have knowledge. You have knowledge, Win. You have knowledge that I don't have. That Double I doesn't have. That Tico. Maybe he probably stole from me.
Tico runs a business.
Hey now.
Multiple businesses. Well, what the fuck you mean that Tico doesn't have that knowledge?
I co-sign on that one. What's his name? He said Double I. Does it?
I mean,
women are like children; they believe nothing is their
What
fault.
the fuck?
Double I
just got bitch slapped in his live stream.
What do I not know about what?
Double I got bitch slapped in his live stream.
I was validating Win.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
Double I got bitch slapped in his live stream. Ooh, how's it feel? Remember when he bitch slapped
Damn,
me in the live
this
stream?
changes things between us.
Give me one
That's the
second.
thing with women, man. That's the thing with women, man. They bitch slap you tons of times. You bitch slap them once, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, here we go. Here comes the waterworks.
Hey, track.
Whoa.
Track.
Yeah.
Tracks.
I gotta pull a U-turn.
Tracks.
All right.
Wait. No, wait before you go.
Hold on.
Wait. Tracks. I disagree with you on that for the fact that children actually act like more adults or act more like adults in this day and age than they do.
Machete?
It's just facts. So like the sad part about that, children actually act more like adults and they act more responsible. And they actually will take fault in this day and age.
My machete in the glove boxes. Tico, did you take my machete from the glove box?
Oh, I got my own.
Karen, where's the machete, Karen? I think Karen called in. She called this search party.
Cooking yam tonight.
Shit.
Cooking yam tonight.
Sorry, True Sean. We got to borrow Karen.
Wait, did you finish what you were going to say? Did you finish what you were going to say, Win?
Go ahead.
Give me 1 second.
I just think it's funny how
he's making a U-turn. But the sad part about that is children nowadays, I've noticed, have more self-awareness and are more self-conscious than the children of yesteryear for the most part.
Today's women.
Children will take responsibility when they mess up. Children will let you know that they fucked up, and they will either start crying when they do it, like I messed up. Like what did you do? I messed up. I'm sorry. I messed up. Like, what did you do? You're sitting there arguing with them about this stuff for about like 2 minutes before they tell you what they actually did. And you're gonna come to find out all you need is a paper towel and you're fine. But like they like internalize that shit and they realize that they messed up. And like a lot of children nowadays, they actually will go and clean up shit that they mess up. They would take the initiative to go clean it up if they messed it up, basically. So their parents don't know, so they won't get yelled at or get punished for it for the most part. Mm-hmm. So the sad part about that, to say that's actually technically false. Technically, children hold higher value than they do. Technically. Because children actually act like they got some sense, and children actually take responsibility on both sides of the spectrum. Now, when they get a little older, that's when shit starts getting divvied up for the most part. However, when children are younger, they take responsibility for their actions, and they do a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're all children once, but some of us are still children now, which is like, that's really what the whole point of it, or whole point of calling out the BS is being like, stop acting like a child.
At the end of the day, what's the thing that you hear a lot of people say, even men or women say to this day? All of them say it. All of them say it across the board. If I'd have did that, I'd have still been picking up my teeth, or I'd have picking up my head, or I'd have been picking up my body parts scattered throughout the house if I'd have said that to my mom or my dad. It's just fact. So, as children, that's how you know that children actually take responsibility and take ownership for the shit that they do. For the fact that they literally, as grown ass adults, they say that till this day. I was to talk to my mom like that, or if I was to talk to my dad like that, I'd be picking at my head 2 weeks later, or find out I'd still be picking at my teeth 10 years later. Basically, they know this shit.
I will get
So
slapped
therefore.
so
Oh yeah, I'll be slapped so hard I'd be in next week or something like that. Or I think one of the famous quotes that I heard somebody's mom say to them was, "Boy, I will slap you in the next week or next month or next year." Like I was like, "Well, damn, that sounds like that's gonna hurt." My grandma said to me one time when I got an attitude with her, she said, "Mijo, I will slap the black off your skin to the floor, and I would slap you back into the black onto the floor." Onto the floor, back into the black, basically. So think about that. She's going to slap the black off my skin to the floor.
And that's the thing. I actually like that, even though you fight back against it as a little kid. And it's like if a girl wants to come in to my house with that, where people understand that mentality, like don't disrespect people who are elders, and then they want to talk a bunch of shit. It's like they deserve whatever they get, even if it's just karma.
Yeah, the sad part about that is they're more likely to do that than any other group of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're more likely to disrespect elders or disrespect your house, or they're pretty much Rick James. Fuck your couch, bitch. Right?
Fuck your couch, nigga. Yeah.
Put your murdy ass feet on your couch, basically. Like they're more likely to do that than anybody. Hell, the sad part about that is your pets are less likely to do that.
It's funny because in the movies they always do like Meet the Fockers or the proposal where the guy is always in the woman's family's house and like trying to have sex, but it's usually the other way around in this economy where like a lot of men have to stay at home with their parents, and that's seen as a bad thing. Like MiGTOW on the Win always says, they say I live in my mom's basement. But the sad part about that is that like that kind of thing doesn't apply to him, but it applies to a lot of men across the country.
And you know what?
The sad part about
I'm happy for them.
Well,
I'm glad, but like Tico, I'm glad.
And the sad part about that's damn good. That's damn good and all, but at the same time, even though there's a lot of men living at home with their parents, there's a shit ton more women living at home with their parents.
No, don't, Tico, no, we can't acknowledge it. Come on, man. Who hurt you?
No, we're going to acknowledge that. In this day and age, there are men living at home, there are grown-ass men living at home with their parents, and there are grown-ass women living at home with their parents because the economy fucking sucks.
But you know what, Tico, hold on a minute. Before we go on, it's not the same for women. Right?
It is the same. No. No, it is the same. It is the same for women because
it's not.
Let
me explain. Can I just fucking talk? Hold on a minute.
Because you're not independent when you actually live at home with your parents. I don't give a damn who you are, what you are. Go ahead.
If you're an independent woman and you have your own home, okay, you don't have a man.
Okay.
That would be equal to a man independent having his own home, which is normal, a normal guy, right?
No, but you're missing a point.
Hold on. I'm just setting up a scenario. I'm giving you a scenario where it doesn't apply. Do you want to continue to confuse me in my scenario so I can't express it to you?
Go ahead, fine. Go ahead.
Or you want to let me talk? Shut the fuck up. Damn.
All right, let him talk.
It's too early in the goddamn morning for this shit.
Cappuccino.
Damn, it's afternoon.
Yeah, I'm serious.
I forgot my scenario. Damn, you confused me. All right.
I remember it.
All right, so you can't. What I'm saying is you can't compare the two. The reason being is the woman already has a leg up. Whenever a woman is living outside of their parents' house, they're moving in with a man. So you're taking on the responsibility of this child from her parents.
Yes.
Huh?
At the end of the day, like I said,
they're either living with a man.
At the end of the day, like I said, look, I look at it like this. At the end of the day, who if the shit has a leg up, who's moving in with who?
But it's not the same insult.
No, it's the same.
See,
who's moving in?
It is not the same insult.
It doesn't matter. Who's moving in with who?
Let me say something.
He's moving in with him. And the sad part about that is what I've noticed in this day and age, even though a lot of women complain about it, women move in with men that live with their parents.
But you guys are both
That's
right
just thinking.
because a house doesn't mean
That's
as much
crazy.
to a woman.
May I say a couple
Well,
things?
a house-
Women have
No,
moved in with
hold on.
men
You're
with their
telling me
parents.
Hey,
you're telling me that some guy would actually live.
May I say a couple things before I go to the shipper?
No. What I said was there was men that live with their parents that women moved into their house with them.
May I say something?
Yeah.
Here?
Oh, I
So,
thought you
like I
said
said,
that.
no,
I thought
no.
you said that there's a woman that lives
No,
with her
no.
parents and a man would live with
And
them.
Man moves in.
In a
Goodness
sense,
gracious.
Hey, look,
That's like a yam. Okay, but
and that's just the beginning of that. To destroy your whole entire argument, more men, like I think is only 5% of women own their own home, and the rest are mostly with like I think
No,
what 5%
but you're
of women-
making my argument because it's an
I'm not.
unfair. It's an
No, it's not
an
unfair.
unfair insult.
It's not
to
unfair.
women,
Only 5%
to a
of
man, it's
only
an
5%.
insult.
No,
Yeah.
only 5% of women own their own home, and that's barely. Well, it's barely 5%.
Right.
Because a lot of them
So
still
it
pay.
would be less insulting.
Wait. Out of the 5%, about 4% of them are still paying it off. So technically, the bank owns their home. Whereas 20 to 30% of men actually own their own home, and then another 40% actually
So
still paying
once
it off.
again, it's less insulting
No,
for
it's not.
you
No,
to
it's
say
not.
a woman
No, it's
moving
not.
back.
No, it's not. Because even in
Of
this
course it
market,
is.
no, it's not. Even in this market, they're relying on women to buy homes, and women aren't buying homes. Men are still buying homes at a lower rate, but women aren't buying homes at the same rate as men are. It's not insulting. It's the fact that they're not. Because at the end of the day, it goes back to responsibility.
Yeah.
If you can live at home with your parents, why the fuck would you take on responsibility? Especially because the sad part about that is women are more likely to live at home with their parents for free than men are.
Hey, Jen.
So
and also I think
women can save up a shit ton of money.
The men are expected to pay.
Yeah, my point
because-
exactly.
Yeah.
My
Or
point
when
exactly.
you live at
And the sad part
here's-
about that
here's
is
the thing, if-
you have to
no,
help,
no,
you have
but like
to do the
the sad part about that though. No, the sad
fix
part
the
about that.
house.
Sad part about wait. The sad part about all that shit is men are expected to pay. Sad part about that is women have more education than men right now, and the sad part about that is a lot of these women are execs and they live at home with their mother, whereas a man's working at like fucking Starbucks or he's working at fucking McDonald's and he's expected to pay this much money to his parents a month, but this chick is making like a couple $100,000, or she got like a 6-figure income or a 7-figure income, and she ain't got to pay shit to her parents. Think about that shit.
Yeah.
How you exec?
Yeah.
How you exec?
Or
How
she's
you
in.
exec?
Okay, but
No.
Yeah.
How the hell are you an exec and you're not paying? You're not contributing to the household that you live in, and you pretty much mooching off your parents, and you're eating
Well,
all
again,
their
you're
fucking
talking
shit.
about
That
the
shit
5%
is pretty
that
fucked up
actually
right
make
there.
a lot of money. But yeah, you're right.
This man, but a man working at a gas station or McDonald's, but a man working at a gas station or McDonald's,
That's
can
pretty
pay his
fucked up.
parents. A man working at a gas station or McDonald's got to pay his parents rent, but a woman that's an exec doesn't have to pay her parents rent. Let that shit sink in.
Right. No.
Men are
That's
more
all.
likely to pay
He's
no
right.
matter what your
Tico's
job
right.
is. Well, if you're only making $50, you're making $50 and you're making $50 a week, you're probably giving part of that to your parents. If you're a man, if not half or if not more, it's just facts. Whereas if you're a woman, you don't even have to contribute. You can actually have the Carrie Bradshaw lifestyle if you're a woman, making even more money than a man is, because more women are educated than men nowadays.
So what you're basically saying, and what Noble
I'd
will
like
agree
to
to,
say
is that
something
when you
before
live at home as a man, you're a slave, but when you live at home as a woman, you're a princess.
Yeah, basically.
That's basically what you guys are basically
Yeah.
talking
I'd like to say something so that before I go into the shipper, a couple of things.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Win.
Yeah, I've been trying. I mean, I'm at the shipper and I was trying to say something. Like, first thing is first is in certain cultures, the father would pay dowry to the man taking the daughter out of the household. And
because she's a burden. That's why.
Right.
They know
She's a burden. Right. And the second thing I was saying is, like, for those men that are living with their parents, you know what? I'm actually happy for them. You know why I'm happy for them?
Thank you.
You know why I'm happy for them? Because they have their parents. They still have their parents.
It depends on the situation.
It depends on the situation.
Not all situations are perfect.
Yeah, no. Because at the end of the day, when I'm gonna counter that with this. When's the last time you ever heard a man paying a dowry to a woman's family, or a woman, period, or a man's family paying a dowry to a woman?
Yeah. In order
My
to
point
initiate the
exactly.
man.
That destroys
Yeah,
that
because the man always has to be initiated into a woman's family.
because they
A
know
woman
they're a
doesn't
burden on
necessarily
them.
need
Actually,
to be
you know what?
because a man.
I think
like
in
I said,
Pakistan, I think in
Uh-huh.
Pakistan, some Muslim cultures actually pay a dowry to get a woman.
They'll get a woman.
They pay to. They don't get a woman. They pay to the
There's
family.
about that
They
too.
don't pay it to the woman. They pay it to the
cultures in
family.
Africa.
Yeah, they
And
pay it
usually
to the
there's
family.
even
They pay the dowry of cows. They pay the dowry of cows
that goes
in some cultures in Africa.
No,
like a
yeah.
good example of that.
All right.
A good example. A good
Like,
example cultures. Somebody.
But
One
that's
family's paying for the
backwards.
wedding, and the other.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah,
Like,
it should.
Yeah, and those
In
cultures.
India-
Here's how it
What?
works, double act. And here's how it works, though. Wait,
It's in there.
in those cultures, somebody's buying a house, and the other person's paying for the wedding. That's usually how that works. It's usually
Yeah.
an equivalent exchange in those cultures.
Well, not in all. I mean, in my culture, it's actually profitable to get married.
Honestly,
If I go get married tomorrow,
It's
arranged,
profitable for you.
I can legit, become a millionaire overnight.
Yeah,
Just
and that's
saying.
the sad part about that. Like
Yeah.
you can, and that's the neat thing about that. Like
And in this
You're very rarely gonna-
country, like all the bride's friends and acquaintances and family that would essentially turn you into a millionaire
let me
overnight.
call the win talk
They
so you
basically
don't
all
get the
hate him. But yeah, they all hate her and they don't even want anything to do with her. But yeah,
What win talk?
yeah, I was saying it's like, I mean, yes, the men actually get they pay a discounted rent with living with their parents too. You know?
What happened?
Some men pay a discounted, they pay rent at discounted rent, living with their parents too.
That's some, not
as
all.
opposed to living on
we
their
already
own.
said,
As
we
opposed
already
to
said
living on
that
their
though.
own.
We've already
Some.
said that though. We've already said men pay rent when they live with their parents versus women not paying rent when they live with their parents.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
just
but
going
it's at
into
a
detail
discount.
little bit.
It doesn't matter.
Going into detail a little bit.
You're basically just
What about-
arguing semantics basically at that point.
See,
Yeah.
I think
I'm getting ready
I
to
think
go to the
it's
shipper.
actually admirable for a
Take care,
man to
Win.
live with his. Take care, Win.
Yeah, I'm actually going to the shipper. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Love you, bro.
All right.
Peace.
So, if you have a guy, So if you basically have a guy living out of their parents, his parents' place, just to save money, there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But the fact of the matter is, who's saving more money?
Depends on
A
that
man or a woman,
situation.
basically.
Yeah, no, but
A woman's always going to save more money than a man, no matter what, when they're living with their
Of course,
parents.
but it also depends on a situation. Like, take for instance, if that man is living in a very small place with his parents and he has no time to himself at all, ever, and he's constantly being badgered and controlled, that's a different. That's a toxic situation. That's different.
Yeah,
but
I
if
know.
it's an
But the sad part
amicable,
about that, the sad
but
part
if it's an
about that, the
amicable
bottom line is the person's still paying. Like the fact that he doesn't get his freedom, he's still paying.
Right, but if it's an amicable situation,
Basically, he's
and
paying
everyone,
for slavery.
It is. No, but he's right. But the thing that I wanted to actually to counter Tico's point is that there's that idea that even though she can probably save up more to afford a house, it doesn't mean that much to her if it's an empty house. Whereas an empty house is a boon. It's a gold. It's MiGTOW. It's freedom.
Yeah, it's freedom.
And and it's not.
Every man's a man cave.
That's
Every room is a man cave. Yeah, but the sad part about that is even though she's saving up that much money, the likelihood of her actually buying that house is very slim to none.
It is very slim to none. There's no way that she's going to buy that house because, like you said,
She can even have the money. She can even have the money saved up for the house. She can have more than what's saved up for the house, and she still won't buy the damn thing.
A man
she'll spend it on a vacation.
Right. She'll spend it and go into the Bahamas.
Nights out with the girlfriends.
Go to Germany.
I get my nails did.
My nails, my hair.
Nails. Nights out with the girls. Vacation. All this shit.
Yeah. It's good, and that's why I think Double I is right too, because in a certain sense, a guy's always going to want that freedom, whereas like a woman kind of sometimes wants to have to be initiated into another man's family, which is it's hard to even get because a lot of men don't even live at home or have any connection with their family. They want nothing to do with their family. They just want to keep up with the Joneses and live that bachelor or that like quasi bachelor lifestyle where they don't have to answer to their parents or learn anything from their parents or like have any sort of like anything to preserve. They want everything to be new. And then
but the sad part about
it's ironic because
but the sad part
yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, the sad part about that though is at the end of the day, we talk about the parents and other shit like that basically. But at the end of the day, when you actually go to a nursing home, you're more likely to see the man there, the male child there, than you are to see the female child there. Unless there was no male children in the family, you're more likely to see the male child there than you are. You're more likely to see the male child of that family member than you are to see the female child of that family member.
Yeah,
it's just fact.
I mean,
or you're more likely to see, the son-in-law, or you're more likely to see the son-in-law instead of the actual daughter of the actual person. You see what I'm saying?
Right. The responsibility is always taken up by it could be the son-in-law, it could be the father or not the father, but it could be the son, nephew. It's never going to be, it's hardly ever the niece or the daughter or the daughter.
It's always it's always the son, brother, uncle, child, cousins.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the male that got to take up the responsibility for that shit.
And then that just goes to say with like who's the steward of the house when the old person is too old to take care of themselves. That determines whether or not that person gets administered into hospice. It's like if a son's living with their parents, he's more likely to take care of his parents and make sure that and like keep them safe. Whereas like if a woman's living with their parents, those parents are going to hospice. Like
the sad part about that,
if she works,
sad part about that
then
is
she can't really take care of them.
And the thing that's icing on the cake for that whole entire topic, anytime that a person goes into a nursing home, 9 out of 10 times it was initiated by a female family member.
Yeah.
Let it be the actual daughter of the child, or the daughter-in-law of the child was always initiated. Right. If it's the man's mom, if it's a man's mom or a man's dad, or her mom and her dad, it's always initiated by a female family member or the daughter-in-law to those parents, basically.
That's one of the only times where in-group preference is not a thing, and that's where they show their true colors.
But nobody wants to take care of their mother-in-law or their mother now. They don't have the time for it. And the sad part about that is you hear a lot of people say this shit, but she's a stay-at-home mom, but she doesn't want to take care of her own mom.
Let me break this to you.
You see what I'm saying? Like a good example of that is and I'm gonna preface this by saying this. I may not have the best relationship with my mom, but I respect my mom enough to actually bring her in my household and die in my household. Old and die in my household. We don't have the best relationship. I mean, I still love her enough where like if something happens to her, I'm there for her. If she needs my help, I'm there for her. If like a good example of that, if she was getting old now and she was still living, like the fact that she died young, if she was still living, if she started suffering like health problems, I would move my mom in with me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. My dad moved.
Oh, I feel you.
My grandmother in with him.
See,
my
there you
dad
go.
moved my grandfather and grandmother in with them.
Yeah.
And we lived, me, my grandmother, my grandfather, mom and dad, sister, all lived in the same house. There were at least 3 generations of knowledge in the same house. There's people who fought in World War II, people born after World War II. My generation, all in the same house.
And the thing about that whole entire thing, at the end of the day, is something that I noticed with a lot of women too, is if they have a spare room, it's not their mother-in-law's, it's their own parents. It's their mother's spare room because they don't want to have to deal with the in-laws for the most part. But the sad part about that, when push comes to shove, their parents never even see that spare room. They end up in a nursing home.
Right. That's the sad part about it.
Like, but if a man has a spare room, his parents are going in that spare room. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
Let
damn
them be
straight.
together or
Every
separate. They're
single
going in that
time.
spare room. But the sad part about that, a woman will argue that a spare room belongs to her parents, and his parents got to stay at a hotel. You see what I'm saying?
Even though,
You ever notice that?
even
Like
though the
his parents,
spare room
his
is
parents
not
got to stay at a
occupied
hotel.
at the time.
Yeah, I know. His spare room, like a good example that they even like a good example that is if his like a good example that is holidays. If both your parents are coming for the holidays, but his parents call first, his parents should get the spare room because they technically reserved it like a hotel basically. But the sad part about that is even if they call first and reserve it first, if her parents calls, his parents now got to go to a hotel and her parents get to stay in the spare room. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's in the case that the man is a high commodity.
Yeah, the sad part about that though is like even like if okay his parents get forced out to the hotel, her parents get to stay in a room. If her girlfriend comes in, her girlfriend goes to the spare room, and her parents got to go to the hotel room. That's how that shit works. You see what I'm saying now?
That's kind of cat fornicated sideways.
Yeah, I know. And the sad part about that is even still, like another good example of that is if her male friend comes, her girlfriend got to go to the hotel, and her male friend gets to stay in the spare room.
What the hell? This is sound more messed up.
There's pecking order to this shit. Like a good example, like I said, if a man's parents are coming in, I know when. But the sad part about that is if a man's parents are coming in, they got the spare room because they call first. If her parents call, her parents get the spare room. His parents got to go to the hotel. If her girlfriend calls to the hotel, and her girlfriend gets to stay in the spare room. If her male friend calls, he's staying in the spare room. Her girlfriend's going to a hotel. That's exactly how that works.
Oh God!
All the time.
That shit wouldn't fly in my family.
All the time.
That shit wouldn't fly in
all
my
the
family.
time. So her male best friend gets more points than her female best friend.
Let me break this to you. That shit wouldn't fly in my
and
family.
nine times out of 10,
Red flag number one.
she's probably banging that motherfucker
Male
too.
friends.
If that motherfucker is staying at your house and not her girlfriend staying at your house, she's banging that motherfucker.
Isn't that TV show Friends?
Her girlfriend should be by all female group preference. Technically, her girlfriend should be staying at the house, not her male best friend.
That shit would not fly in my family. I will like literally I will walk out. If it's not my house, I'm walking out. If it's my house, she's getting out.
And the sad part about that in this day and age, if you were to say that to a woman, you'd be oppressing her, and it's not right that you're making our male friend go to a hotel. That's exactly what she'll tell you. But you don't trust me? Why does he got to sleep at a hotel? Well, why can't my best friend stay here?
Right.
Well, it's different. No, it's not different. And that's the sad part about that. She'll tell you it's different.
I wouldn't even let it get that far.
That is like
get out.
That is the word that they use, or the phrase they use so much. Is like it's different.
It's different. That's exactly what they say. It's different.
It would never got that far.
And I normally respond to that by saying, yeah, it's different because you're banging the person.
No, me, I'm the type of person I wouldn't even let. Well, then get out.
Yeah, or like that whole phrase. It's different. Like I'll give you an example. Like I think I used it before, but like when you're like with a woman, and then you say something about another woman somewhere randomly. And then she doesn't even she won't even be seeing. She'll be looking at me, for example. So she's looking at me. We're focused on doing something that we're doing. I say something about a random woman. I say something about
before me.
I say something about a random woman somewhere. She will try to find that woman in order to correct me on my judgment of her when I saw her first. That's so outrageous. It's like, wait, I thought if you trust me and you want to sort of be on my team, and then when I say something, you're looking to correct me, that kind of stuff. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why don't you do what Mr. Forma said in one video once? It's like, just admit it. It's like you were never on my team to begin with. You don't like me, and you're just basically trying to use me for attention. Because you won't even agree to something that I say. You'll try to just correct me on it. When you don't even care about that woman, like you're not supposed to care about her over me. Why are you paying attention to to what she's wearing to try to correct me on something that I said. And it's just hypocrisy like that blows my mind. I'm like, literally, why don't you just, like, if that's the case that you want to defend her, then why do I even trust you at all in this relationship? Like, what is the point of trusting you if that's what you're going to do if I have something to say?
Yeah, and that's the sad part about that. That's always going to be the argument they come back to. It's different.
It's different.
It's different.
That's what they say
it's
all the
different.
time. It's different.
It's different.
Well, she can do what she wants. That's different. And I was like,
no, and that's the thing about it. Like, a good example of that is, like I said, like, it's fine. It's fine when if you were to make that request for your friend to stay at the house, she would have a problem with that. If your parents were to stay at the house, despite the fact that you have a spare room, she would have a problem with that. But you should be okay with her parents coming to the house. Be okay with her friends coming to the house. You should be okay with everybody else spending time at the house. Your friends are obviously bad, no matter if they're male, female, if it's your parents. Hell, I've known women to even accuse their husbands of cheating on them while they're at their parents' house.
And in fact, the funny thing about it,
let's just
her parents don't even like me, right? Am I correct?
9 times out of 10, her parents don't like you. I mean, right. It's very rare for her parents to actually like you as a man. And the sad part about that, though, to equal that out, your parents don't like her 9 times out of 10.
Right.
And this is and the sad part about that is her parents are allowed not to like you. Your parents should like her. If your parents don't like her, then either whenever a fight or argument break out, why are you taking their side? You should be on my side. I'm your wife. Like, okay, so when we had this argument with your mother, and I was I was actually disagreeing with you, or it was perfectly fine. It was perfectly fine for your parents to degrade me and belittle me, and you agreed with them.
Right. But the second
same damn thing, they're just making up. The sad part about that, a female parent,
or my siblings,
or my female parents will falsely assassinate your parents. Your character, a female's parents will assassinate your character falsely. Your parents will assassinate her character literally, like all the shit that she does wrong. Like, they'll make up shit, or they'll think of shit or they'll say shit that she told them that you did, that you probably didn't even do. And they'll be harping on you about that shit. Whereas your parents will be like, well, she can't cook. She sucks at this. She sucks at that. Your parents will actually the male's parents would always bring facts. And that's why they're disappointed in their daughter-in-law, because she's literally not standing up to what the family qualities and the family standards are for the most part. This is why men's parents don't like the females. They're wives. Their son's wives for the most part, because either A, she's not stacking up to the standards of the family, or she can't really do shit, and she's not equal or as good as the family standards that they have set. Whereas her parents will complain about you about shit that she just bought up out of the clear blue, or shit that she told them. Because you also got to take situation too. When a woman gets in a relationship with a man, she needs all the alibi and all the burden of truth, or all the burden of everything to be on her side. So she'll slowly destroy your character. Hell, she'll tell them that you don't let her do something. Meanwhile, she be going out every night of the week, and you let her go out every night of the week, but you say no one time. You never let her do anything. That turns into that. So now her parents think that you're a controlling freak. It's like the fact that you only said one time. It's just facts. Then on top of that, she'll tell them, she'll say that you're always hanging out with your friend.
Yeah.
Now you can hang out with Tico once a year, or he never spends time with me. You can spend all the time in the world. You can take her out to dinner. You can do all this shit, but you can hang out with your friends. Good example of that is you can spend time with your wife 6 days a week. You go out with your friends one time. You never spend time with her. So that story gets embellished into some big shit because you went out with your friends one time, maybe for a couple hours, and all of a sudden you never spend time with her. Despite the fact that you only went out for 2 hours with your friends and you came back and watched a movie with her, you never spend time with her. You see what I'm saying? So that's another story that she'll tell everybody. And then, like, if you tell her no one time to something, you're abusive, and she's in an abusive relationship, and you're controlling, and you never let her do anything. Despite the fact that you only told her one time in your whole damn relationship, and all the rest of the times you said yes. You're abusive and you're controlling.
that's kind of like the reason why I was just like, I'm shocked.
Okay, I'm sorry about that double I.
I'm good. Did you mute him, or was he muted, or what happened?
No, double I fell out. I didn't see him because my computer, my screen went blank.
My internet keeps dropping where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Well, all I wanted to say is like, when it comes to that content creating and stuff, I never knew that this wasn't just going to end up being like a video diary of me saying my experiences, because the truth is that like people hate this so much, men being honest, that they make it into something more than it is. And I mean, I'm thankful for them for doing that, because now this can reach more people. But all a brother wants to do is just, speak his mind and like talk about what he's been through, and people don't accept that, and that's really sad.
And what Jam just said.
I apologize to anybody. I apologize to anybody who I might have shut down.
Yeah, but the sad part about that is the sad part about that though is
sometimes I got to take my own
double line. Now listen to what Yam just said. Listen to what Yam just said about the whole entire thing. If a man's being honest, everybody hates the fact that a man's being honest when it comes to female nature or women. That reason right there, double I, that reason right there, my nigga, is the reason why I let women on this show. You can't argue that if there's a woman on my panel. You can't argue that shit. You can't argue against it if I have somebody on a panel like a Rose Blaze, or if I have somebody with opposing views on a panel like, a Brutally Lauren, or, a Penny Proud, or you can't argue with me and tell me that I hate women when I have them on a panel and I didn't even disrespect them. How am I hating women when I didn't disrespect the woman on my panel? You see what I'm saying? This is exactly why I invite women on the fucking panel and on a fucking show. You can never say Tico hates women, because there's going to be a woman on the show.
And I'm one of the people that will engage in conversation with said women.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
now, everybody else. Like, now, the sad part about that is everybody else on the panel might say some rude shit to the woman. She never hear Tico say anything rude to a woman unless she cracks a joke and Tico responds.
I just talk to her like I talk to any other man.
Yeah, what's up, nigga?
So you can't argue. Up, so at the end of the day, you can never say I hate women when there's women on my panel. Hell, they've even heard me say and announce and actually offer Mango Chunks a spot on the panel.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for your son. Your godson's mom to get on the panel.
Dude,
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't.
As a hairdresser, she's never been so busy.
I'm just saying though.
I'm surprised he didn't have my sister on the panel.
Like, the sad part about that, I've offered many people a spot, many different people from every walk of life, no matter what they believe. For everybody,
I don't have a listen. I think you're mistaking my comment.
Everybody offer onto the panel, no matter what they believe. Hell, you can hate Jewish people, you can hate black people, you can hate women, you can hate men.
Hold on, Tico.
Black people need to die. I'll still invite you on the panel.
Does this have anything to do with that time I said that it changes the dynamic?
The sad part about that, though, that time that you said you changed the dynamic, there was no dynamic in the show. Psyche Soap was on some other shit. Psyche Soap was on some other shit. Psyche Soap was on some other shit.
Maybe the eye
sees
something that you do not.
No, trust me. I seen it. That time when you said that shit, Psyche Soap was on some other shit. MiGTOW to win. Lord knows what the fuck he was doing. He was in the live stream. Not really. And then on top of that, I was falling asleep on the live stream, to be honest with you. I was literally falling asleep in that live stream. Yeah, so when she came into the live stream, when she came in that live stream, she actually made that live stream much fucking better.
Yeah, she made it better.
Because I was falling asleep during that live stream. But Psyche Soap wasn't even in the. Psyche Soap was thinking about some other stuff. He wasn't really participating. MiGTOW and the Win.
I think
MiGTOW and the Win was on some other shit in that live stream. MiGTOW and the Win was on some other shit.
I think you mistake hatred for logic.
No, there was that's not hatred. That's not hatred or logic. Basically, at the end of the day, logically, that live stream was fucked up. I knew it was fucked up. If I'm falling asleep during my own live stream, that live stream's fucked up.
It's been
a good example of a fucked up live stream is if I'm in somebody else's live stream comment section, that live stream's fucked up. In the story. Like when MiGTOW Dictionary was on the show, I was actually over there in Traversable's live stream. And I was actually watching a video. The one time Hammerhand's live stream, And I was actually, and another time when he was in there, I was actually over there watching.
Well, what Tico's saying
videos.
is that Double I's
That's a
right.
fucked
It
up
was
live stream.
compromised, but
That
not because
dynamic
of a
was
woman.
fucked up in the beginning. There was no dynamic. There was never no dynamic. There was no dynamic in the beginning for it to even be a dynamic to fuck up. There's no dynamic. We weren't even paying attention to each other. Y'all were you and them were just rambling. We barely had any fucking views, and everybody done dropped out. There was no views. That dynamic was gone from the get-go.
I shall present my case after I've done my research.
There was nobody watching the fucking live stream. Period. That second live stream, there was nobody watching that shit. I was falling asleep. I was falling asleep so fucking hard.
I will present
no. I'm gonna tell you this right quick. I was falling asleep so fucking hard. I hit my head on the wall 7 times, nigga. That's how hard I was falling to fucking sleep. I hit my head on the fucking wall 7 times. There was no fucking dynamic in that fucking live stream. There was zero dynamic in that live stream. We were fucking off in that live stream. That live stream was garbage. That fucking live stream was fucking garbage. And that's not fucking live stream. That live stream was fucking garbage.
Give me time to accumulate facts, please. I didn't know this was going to be. I didn't know I was going to be on a stand for this one.
That live stream was fucking straight dumpster juice.
Well, which one? Which one?
Wow.
That fucking live stream was fucking dumpster juice.
Really? How did you really feel about that live
fucking
stream?
Juice. That second live stream we did
about that portion before that?
The live stream that we did after True Sherm's live stream, straight like True Sherm's live stream was solid. That second live stream that we picked up after that was straight fucking dumpster juice.
It was bad.
It was straight fucking dumpster juice. I was falling asleep. I kept hitting the back of my head off the wall. I was falling asleep so fucking hard in that live stream.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm falling asleep at a live stream or I'm looking at somebody else's live stream participating in the comment section, that live stream is dumpster juice, my friend. That live stream is dumpster juice.
So you're saying is Double I and I are like MiGTOW dictionary? That's what you're saying.
So let me hear this correct. So the dumpster juice that stays in the dumpster, or the dumpster juice that leaked out and mixed with the asphalt below?
Both. It was straight dumpster juice. No matter how you cut it, it was dumpster juice.
It was a zoomed out picture of
we literally had 0 people watching. And the sad part about that is Psyche Soap said, let's start another one. That nigga showed up, like 10, 15, 20 minutes late? Then the sad part about that is MiGTOW and the Win was in first. That nigga didn't even participate in that whole time. That nigga barely participated in the whole damn live stream.
Right.
He barely participated in the live stream. I was half tempted to think that nigga was asleep again.
Hey, I'm sorry. I mean, I was kind of.
There was zero dynamic in that whole entire fucking live stream because it was dumpster juice. The minute Roseblaze jumped in the live stream, everybody got dynamics and everybody had team. Everybody was a team player then. Everybody was a fucking team player. I stopped falling asleep. Like he started participating. He was on some shit, talk about some random stuff that he normally doesn't talk about in the live stream.
Like I said, you just proved my point. It changed the dynamic.
It didn't change the dynamic. You can't change the dynamic that wasn't there.
the dynamic positively.
It changed it in a positive way.
No, that's not changing that dynamic. There was 0 dynamic in the first damn place. You can't
create a
dynamic.
It created one. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's like there's
an absence of a dynamic, and then she created one.
No, see, if there's no dynamic, you can't. It's not changing a dynamic when there's not a dynamic in the first place. You can't change shit that wasn't there. It'd be like me saying that I just got $10 million out of nowhere.
Like I said, I didn't expect. I didn't even expect to be on the stand, so I will have to accumulate some
no further questions, Your Honor,
and provide suitable evidence to prove my point.
I was literally falling asleep. Matter of fact, I had a camera on me while I was falling to fucking sleep during that live stream.
I will hold back. I will hold back my argument.
The sad part about that is I fell asleep so fucking hard. I fell asleep so fucking hard. I kept smacking the back of my head off the wall behind me. Like the sad part, only reason why I woke up is because my head hit the wall at a hard rate. That's the only reason why I woke up. If I didn't hit the whole wall at the hard rate, or if I was really, really out cold, I'd just stayed there sideways and shit. Sleep.
Either way,
if the wall was softer, or if the wall was softer, Yeah, you can bring it up later, but I'll just play the video of my black ass falling asleep on y'all. It don't
I
matter.
don't care. It doesn't matter. It
I will
doesn't
play the
matter.
live stream of my black ass falling asleep on you. Then I'll show you that MiGTOW the Wind had his mic muted half the time.
And I was still
Psyche Soap was saying some random shit the whole entire time. He's just saying random shit like, the fuck? What happened to you? Did you just get kidnapped, nigga?
Like I said,
just blame Yam, guys. It's Yam's fault. It's just stop fighting. Stop
And the
fighting.
sad part
Just
about-
gotta-
and the sad part
anytime
about-
Psyche Soap gets into that screaming phase, all I think about is that Ace
he was
Ventura.
he was like the random psych patient at the on the psych ward that last stream.
Remember?
Now,
Remember Ace Ventura where the guy was on the backpack
Yeah,
when nature calls.
yeah, that's
or
really what it
something like
was. And he was just yelling.
Yeah.
He was just sort of yelling random shit while y'all were sitting there talking.
that?
He was
Yeah.
yelling random shit the whole entire time. MiGTOW the Wind had his mic muted. Yeah, and the sad part about that,
That was the best.
You want to know the thing that really pissed me off about that whole entire thing, and this is the sad part. This is the thing that pissed me off the whole entire time about that shit. Y'all four niggas wanted to do another live stream.
And we were
Only
slow.
two of y'all
and we
niggas
didn't
showed,
get-
and two of y'all. I didn't want to do another live stream. Two of y'all niggas showed up at the live stream. The other two was quiet or off on some random shit in the live stream. Now y'all voted against me to start another live stream. Four of y'all niggas voted to start another live stream.
I was working and I got off and I missed True Shrim's live stream, so I thought that the
but the sad
second
part
one
about it,
was
you
going to be a
you came in and
Hold on.
yeah, but damn, you came in the
How many
backstage.
views did we get on said live stream?
That's because most of the views came at the end of the live stream.
How many views did we get? How many views did we get?
We got a lot of views, but the sad part about that is
How many views? How many views
Yeah,
specifically?
yeah,
How many views?
But but the problem with that double I is we only had like 5-6 views at the beginning of the live stream. If you actually look at the algorithm of the live stream, everybody was there watching Rose.
Me don't
The rest of
care.
that live stream.
All
And I'm
me
still
care
looking at-
about is the bottom line.
No,
The
it
bottom
doesn't
line,
matter.
let me see.
Everybody, the sad part about that is
What's the
nobody
bottom
did-
line say? How many
doesn't matter.
views? How many views? How many views,
here
me
we go.
brother?
I'm gonna
bottom
break
line
it down
doesn't-
for you,
the
brother.
bottom line
I'm gonna break it
doesn't-
down for
the
you,
bottom
brother.
line doesn't criticize the
At the
girl that
end
comes
of the
in the
day,
live
no,
stream.
because it's all because at the end of
Take
the
a
day,
puff and tell me how many views.
it doesn't matter. 'Cause at the end of the day, I'm gonna break it down half and half. At the beginning of the live stream, we only got 10 views.
No.
And the sad part
It's
about that, those 10 views, I'm gonna tell you who those 10 views was.
brother. Listen.
No, I'm
listen,
gonna
man.
tell you who those 10
Listen,
views
man.
was.
He's looking
No,
at
no.
he's looking at
The video is the video. The whole video is all the video.
No, it doesn't matter because those 10 videos was America's falling out multiple times, and Shinobi 1 falling out multiple times, and my daughter was there to moderate. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're
My daughter
bouncing.
fell out multiple
They're
times. Shinobi 1 fell out multiple times, and that's how
It
we
was
got
a
10
zero.
views.
It might
It
as well
went to
be
zero. Yeah, it might as well be zero because it was straight dumpster juice. The sad part about that, when your homegirl jumped in, that you saying you don't want in there. When she jumped in, that shit jumped to like a good 30, 40 views.
Whoa.
And the sad part about
I didn't
that,
say
till
I
this
didn't
day-
want her in there. I said I don't.
No.
I said
Until
it
this
would
day-
change the
until
dynamic.
until this day, Double I, they don't watch the beginning of that live stream. They watch the end of that live stream because I can actually see it. They watched the end of the live stream when Rose Blaze actually got in the live stream.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
went
keeping
back
it
to the
100.
live stream. I didn't even watch the. I just
Okay.
went to the part where Rose jumped in.
Yeah, see,
That's all. I'm just being
you
honest.
haven't even jumped in the middle of the live stream. Hell,
I'm one of-
my
I'm
daughter,
one of
the Cartel Princess, who normally watches all the live streams, skipped all the way to Rose Blade's entry. My daughter, who was in the live stream, stopped paying attention to the live stream and was all playing some other game until Rose Blaze got in the live stream. And she was the moderator of the live stream. She was the fucking mod.
Yep.
And everybody who watches the live stream watches the end of the live stream when Rose Blaze comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I need to compile more evidence.
It don't matter how
Before
much
my
data you get. It don't matter how much data you get.
Take a
Everybody
puff,
watched
man.
the end of the
Take a
live
puff.
stream. When
Give me,
everybody watched the second half of the
give me
live
the
stream.
view count. Give me the view count.
It's kind of like when you say when everybody says the days of our lives. Now here's the second half of Days of Our Lives. Everybody watched the second half of Days of Our Lives. Then nobody watched the first half. There's only 3 people in there watching the first half. The only reason why one person was there watching it because she had no choice because she was the moderator. That's it.
Yeah, and you can also if you want to gather
We
data,
wouldn't even
you
have
should
no views.
gather.
We wouldn't even have no
you should
views. We
gather-
wouldn't even have 10 views if she wasn't there watching it. and being a
Together
moderator.
retina data of Yam before Roseblaze entered the live stream, and then Yam after Roseblaze entered the live stream. You'll see that the pupils dilate. That's when the pupils start
The sad
dilating.
part about that though is I literally hit my head off the wall like 10 times in the beginning of that live stream and shit like that before I actually typed the Rose, can you join the live stream, pimp? And then when she jumped in and I seen her, because I was still falling asleep before she got in, and I happened to hit my head the one time, the ninth time, I woke up and Roseblaze was at the bottom of the screen and I put her in and actually stayed up the rest of the live stream.
And it still has 10 more views than the first one.
Like I said, the bottom line.
The first one has 42. The next one has 52.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man, for the final figures.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They got those views because of Roseblaze. Everybody was there for Roseblaze.
Everybody was there for
Roseblaze.
What you're doing is you're giving the woman all the credit for what Double I did.
All of those views came. All those views came at the end of that fucking live stream when Roseblaze was there. Yeah. I can actually look at the algorithm and tell you when people actually watch the shit. Hell, people skip all the way to the middle to actually watch Roseblaze. Just to see Roseblaze.
Just to see Rose.
Because that shit was. That's how dumpster juice that shit was in the beginning. Everybody said, hell. When I re-looked at it again, I actually remember when Roseblaze got in. And actually skip to that part.
Your implication states.
Yam skip to that part. You say when we watched it.
Your implication.
I'm willing to bet
your implication states that we would never have gotten that number by ourselves. That's your implication, right?
No, because nobody was engaged. Only y'all two was sitting there engaged.
Not during that time. People were funneling in.
Here's what I will say. If everybody was engaged like the first time out, we'd have probably got close to those views. But nobody was engaged. It was just y'all.
It's too late in the live stream for this shit.
Y'all two motherfuckers was the only one engaged in our whole entire live stream. Like I said, Psyche Soap was yelling out some obscenities and some crazy shit randomly throughout the whole entire live stream. MiGTOW and the Wind didn't even participate in the live stream.
I will reserve my right to.
Now I'm gonna say this because I was not pissed about this shit. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I
apologize. The sad part about that shit is I voted against doing another live stream. Y'all four voted for another live stream. Only two of y'all motherfuckers participated in the live stream. The other one was yelling obscenities.
We were trickling in. That's how we roll.
No.
Everybody was taking a break.
Can I say something?
No, they weren't. Because what you can't tell my black ass is y'all four voted for another live stream, and only two of y'all motherfuckers showed up, and I'm still pissed about that shit. No. I'm pissed about this shit. I voted against the live stream because I knew it wasn't going to be shit. I knew that live stream wasn't going to be shit.
I'm gonna tell you why I did everything.
Hold on, MiGTOW on the win because technically you were at fault for the second one too because your ass fell asleep in the damn thing. And Psyche Soap was at fault for it because he didn't participate in the thing because he voted for it again in the backstage. And Yam came in and voted for another live stream because he didn't get to participate really in the first live stream, and it was only him and Double Live participating in the live stream. It's like the fact that four of y'all motherfuckers voted for the live stream. We had five motherfuckers we had five motherfuckers all together. I voted against it. Y'all voted for y'all voted for it, and y'all motherfuckers fucked up. Y'all motherfuckers dropped the fucking ball in the story.
But notice, I'm not over here trashing it.
Yeah, I know. You're the only one.
I will admit,
the only reason why I did it, the live stream and agreed to it is because not because all four y'all voted against me, is because Yam wasn't in the first one.
Hey, look,
so I decided that we should do another one because of Yam. I didn't care what y'all vote was. I would have voted against it. Let's just put it this way. If it was just y'all three in there, if it was you win, it was Double I win, and we're not doing another live stream. But the fact that Yam has to do another live stream because he didn't get to participate in the first one, I decided that we're going to do another live stream after I got outvoted. Now, if Yam wasn't in there, y'all would have outvoted me. I'd have vetoed that vote and said, take y'all black asses to bed because I'm tired of this shit. That's exactly what I'd have told her after. But because Yam asked me nicely, because he missed the first one, I owed it to him to do another one. That's the only reason why I agreed to the live stream.
Hey, look.
Only reason why I agreed to the live
I
stream.
was trash on both live streams.
That-
I apologize.
No, you actually were really good in the first live stream. The second live stream, I'm gonna call you later and cuss you out about that shit, because now that I remember that shit, and Double Line brought it up, I still gotta cuss your ass out about that shit.
Look,
and I gotta call Double Line and cuss him out about that shit too.
I reserve the right to provide my argument.
So I'm just saying, when this live stream's over, let's know I'm calling both y'all asses to cuss y'all both out. Cam's okay.
Hey, look.
I'm calling your ass, and I'm calling your ass to cuss you out. And I'm gonna call Psyche. I'm sending Psyche Soap with text message saying, "What the fuck happened, bro?"
Double I's gonna cuss me out for this live
That's
stream.
fucking legit.
Damn,
Now that you
Tico.
reminded me about that last stream. Now that
Tico,
you reminded me about that last stream,
You
I
know
just
what?
remembered
But
that I got cut
I
y'all
got
asses
one.
out about that shit.
Hey, Jen.
I got one.
Because now
I got
that y'all
one
reminded me on that
question,
shit, thank you for
Let me
reminding
say
me on that
something.
shit, Double I, because I gotta cuss your ass out when this is over, and I gotta cuss your
let me
ass
say
out
something.
too.
I
Let me
gotta
say
ask
something.
you, Tico.
Hey, I like to say something.
It's happening. It's going
Can I
down
say
when this live
something?
stream's over.
Can I say
It's going
something?
down when this live stream's over.
Hey,
I'm cussing
can I
you
say
both out on the
something?
phone. I'm calling both
let
of you, and I'm cussing you both out.
Hey, let me say something here.
Let's you know what? Let's make it a three-way conversation. Why don't you do this?
Jen,
Why don't you set up a conference call?
hey,
No, I'm gonna do it one at a
Conference call.
time because I
I want to say something here.
don't believe in berating people as a group. I believe in
Hey.
berating people personally.
Hey, let me say something here. I learned a valuable lesson from the last live stream I shacked up. If the first one went good, leave it alone.
My point exactly. Thank you, MiGTOW.
Yep.
I learned a valuable lesson.
I didn't know better.
Same here.
I didn't know better.
No more doubles.
Leave it alone.
I was
If
thinking
the
that
first
everybody.
one went bad on my
That
watch,
was
leave it
trash.
alone.
That last
No,
stream
here's
was
the problem.
trash.
Here's the
And
problem.
the only,
Here's the problem.
the
I was
only
thinking that
saving,
everybody
the
was
only
a. I
fucking
was thinking
saving
everybody
grace
was
of
a
that
right
last
yam.
stream, the only fucking saving grace of that last stream was Rose Blades. That was the
I was
only fucking
projecting
saving grace of
my
that
right
last stream.
yamness
You're giving her
onto
too much
everybody
credit.
else in the live stream.
It's true. Everybody skip to the end. I'm actually literally looking at the algorithm right now. Everybody skip to the end of that fucking live stream to watch the end of the live stream.
Okay.
Because the bars are the bars.
Like I said,
there's only like two,
I
there's only like-
reserve. You
Yeah,
keep
but the sad part
trying
about
to
that is-
tempt. You trying
doesn't
to
matter,
tempt
'cause
me
at the
into
beginning of-
answering. I will not
here's how it
rebuttal.
works.
I will not provide you with an argument as
here's
of
how it
yet.
works.
I
If you're
have to
looking at a graph,
review.
if you're looking at a graph,
Let's just say
I'm
you're going to
saying,
lose the argument.
This is how the video looks. I'm looking at a graph. There's only two motherfuckers in a live stream in the beginning.
I will tell you now.
Now after she got in, there was like 10, 20. Matter of fact, that was actually the most people that actually watched the live stream ever. That was more than my last channel. My last channel had more subs on it. More people watched that live stream than any other time that I've ever did a live stream on my bigger channel before it got taken down.
I reserve my right to provide an argument at a later date.
I had almost 1,000 subs, and more people watched that live stream ever than any other time. Matter of fact, at one point when Rose Blades was in here, there was 30 motherfuckers in here. 30. 30. My last stream on my channel where I had almost 1,000, even if I had guests, hit like maybe like 17, 18. There was 30 motherfuckers in that end of that last stream. 30.
Mm-hmm.
Now the sad part about that is my old channel does better. My old channel did better on views than the beginning of that live stream period. Well, it always broke. It always had like anywhere between 15 and 16 or 17 people in the live stream watching it on my old channel. But at the end of the day, on this channel, for me to get 30 fucking views in a live stream, that is fucking major.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part about that is those 30 views came at the end of the fucking live stream. Because I said at live stream, we just got 30 fucking views right now. And when the live stream ended, I had like 48 views when that live stream ended. And the sad part about that now, most of those people that watched it literally skipped to the end of the fucking live stream and watched Rose Blades. Because I can actually see when people watch the live stream in the algorithm. They literally skipped to the end and watched it. Dan was probably one of the motherfuckers, and I was the second one. Cartel Princess was another one. And the sad part, my daughter was another one. And I'm willing to bet any money all the MiGTOW brothers who came after the fact, like MiGTOW Life literally skipped to the end and watched it. He told me. Mr. Former was at the end. And a couple other people were at the end. Literally skipped to the end to watch it because it got more interesting at that time. The sad part about that is what you don't realize is
I don't think he's accusing Double I of anything. He's just going going off statistics.
I'm going off
It's just
statistics and data.
statistics,
The sad
Double I
part
is going
about
off the
that is
principle.
at the end of the day, with a lot of people, it's kind of like what I said to what I said cryptically the one time when MiGTOW Dictionary was in a live stream, and I said there's 7 people watching, only 2 people talking. Remember that. Remember that.
Remember this conversation.
Yeah. So like the sad part about that is there's 7. Like I said, there's 7 people watching, but only 2 people are talking, which means there's about 5 people lurking in a comment section, basically watching the stream, which means that they probably went back and told everybody that it got more interesting at this time. I know a lot of people who leave timestamps at the bottom of my videos to let them know when it got interesting. And the sad part about that is the MiGTOW community is so big, especially in the other room, that they'll literally tell you when the live stream was actually more interesting, and they'll actually go straight to that number and actually watch it. It's kind of like what Yam does when he says, we were talking about such and such at minute 1 hour such and such mark, and literally everybody will literally go to that mark basically because Yam put the number in there. Now, people in the MiGTOW community or MiGTOW community will actually go and say it got interesting at this time. The rest of the live stream was trash. They literally say the rest of the live stream is trash. It got interesting at this time. And everybody from the community would go watch into that live stream where it got interesting. It's just facts. I know how it works. Kind of like what I said. It's kind of like when I say there's 7 people in the live stream. Got to think about that. And the sad part about that, it'll go from 7. Well, then it'll go down to 9 or 2.
One thing I think that we're basically.
So let's just make sure we clarify.
Yeah.
My comment was
we always dumpster juice at the beginning in the story.
Doesn't matter. That's not what I'm arguing.
He wasn't even talking.
I think you and I are arguing 2 different things. You've got an umbrella argument, and I have a very narrow, finite argument. Which
it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people watched it. All that matters is when they watched it. They're not going to give me. Here's the thing about that, because like it all comes down to algorithm. This all comes about the algorithm. This why we talk about the algorithm. This is always talk about you can talk about certain things at certain points and you can't, or there's certain things that you can do at the beginning of the video. If you get a certain amount of views at the beginning of the video, then they will push your video more. The sad part about that now.
You're looking at umbrella argument.
That's not umbrella.
I'm not trying to make you an umbrella argument.
I'm talking about.
I reserve the right to argue the facts. At a later date, because I know you're going to lose.
No, you're not. No, I'm not. Because I'm talking about algorithm. Because I know how the algorithm works. Unlike some other people, they wonder why they always get shitted on by YouTube. I know how the algorithm works. My video didn't get pushed until the end. This is why all those people watched it at the end. It didn't get pushed till the end. It's just fact. My video was basically sitting in YouTube purgatory until Rose Blades basically got in the live stream. Then it got pushed.
What does that have to do with the dynamic?
There was no dynamic in that whole entire thing. It was trash, nigga. It was trash. That's what I'm talking about. There was no dynamic.
It
was her
You're
presence.
missing it.
It was her presence. It was her presence and a witty bander.
But that's not what I'm arguing. Once again, let's rewind.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The views don't matter. This ain't fucking football.
You're adding shit to something it doesn't.
No. The sad part is what you're missing. It does add up for the fact that what you're trying to say is we got this many views. No, we didn't get this many views. She got that many views. She got that many views.
Whoa. Once again, let's back it up. My statement was very simple, and I'm not going to go further than that. My statement was very simple. She changes the dynamic, and she still does, and I stand behind that.
It didn't
I will
change
argue
that
fact once.
It doesn't matter. She didn't change that dynamic.
Information is in.
Let me let you in a little secret, Double I. We don't have any dynamic. Our dynamic is trash most of the time, like I said. And I admitted that shit. Our dynamic is trash most of the fucking time. Now, when we do have dynamic and we do have anything going on, more people watch. Most of the times, we don't got that dynamic going on at all. It's trash, nigga. It's trash. This is why we barely get views, because our dynamic is trash. The sad part about that is I did change it up. This is why I've been doing the shit that I've been doing, because I know what works and I know what doesn't work. I know that they're going to push one thing and they're not going to push another thing. It's kind of like the best way to even preference it is Matter of fact, I even said this after the live stream was over. Between both live streams, guess whose live stream got processed first, and guess whose live stream got processed 16 hours later? True Terms live stream got processed 16 hours later. The one that Roseblaze was in was processed
immediately,
30 minutes or less. That's why it was fucking trash.
That type of shit I'll never understand. That blows my mind, honestly.
And the sad part about that is I gotta wait 12 to 16 hours for my videos to process. You jump in 5-10 minutes, 30 minutes tops.
Yeah, shit gets popping.
Yes, it does.
That's what I'm talking about.
The dynamic changes.
There was no dynamic. There was no dynamic. Our dynamic's been mostly trash up until I started doing the three of us, and the one with me and Baron Yan, basically.
It'd be three or 4 weeks ago.
For a long fucking time. A long 3 or 4 weeks ago
would be a different story, but I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I think you're right. I think you're right. I think Double I's correct in certain. But by saying something like it changes the dynamic, but we really haven't. It's been different the past.
Zero dynamic. You can't change shit that you don't have. That'd be like me saying I'm fresh to death. It's not like it's Double I's fault or it's my fault. It's just no. It's not. It's not the fact that it's anybody's fault. But the fact of the matter is, we dropped the ball basically as a team. We did drop the ball. I will admit that we dropped the ball. I'll be the first person to say that we dropped the fucking ball. End of story. We dropped the ball. We've totally just fucked up. Basically, I would say I fucked up. I would say as a team, we all fucked up and our dynamic has been fucked up. And the sad part about that is I made the steps to slowly start fixing it when I started implementing nighttime streams with Yam and you. Because I know what works. I know how it works and I know what fucking works. Because I know how to drag our dynamic out so it can be a better dynamic than what it was before. Because before that, our dynamics were trash. Our dynamics were straight dumpster trash. Despite the fact that I have the subs, but our dynamics was straight dumpster trash. And the sad part about that, this is the reason why I've been pushing the midnight streams and all these other streams.
Steer the ship.
Try to save
because I know what fucking works.
You're trying to
what works.
You're trying to save the ship.
And the sad part about that. Yeah, it's basically been a sinking ship for a while until I turned it around with the midnight things for the most part. The midnight live streams or the late night live streams basically. And the sad part about that is those actually garner the longest views out of all the fucking videos we have on our fucking channel.
Those actually have the most views.
The longest views. Those get most times our live streams only get 17, 18. Back in the past we get 17, 18 minutes of view. Of watch time, those live streams still have 45 to an hour, Pam. 45 to a fucking hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy. That's nuts. Crazy.
Hour of people watching that shit because it's more interesting now than it was before because we actually have our dynamic back. We actually have our drive back now, and people actually realize that shit now. The sad part about that, like I was telling you, Roseblade's video, the 2 videos that Roseblade's were in. If the whole entire time she was there, people watched the whole entire time she was there. So if she was there for an hour and a half, people watched the whole entire time. She was there for, I think the last time she was there for 15 minutes or something like that. They literally watched the whole entire time.
Hey, gents, if I'm kind of zoned out for about an hour or so, that's because I'm trying to make it to a truck stop before I run out of hours of service.
And another good example of that. Another good example of how I knew our dynamics was trash was sad part about that. Our old videos before that, when Pence was in the video, more people watched because he actually Pence literally fixed our dynamic when he jumped in the video because that's how trash it was. So in all technicality, by you saying Roseblade's changed that dynamic, technically Pence changes that dynamic.
I think
on top of that, if you really want to get technical about it, technically MiGTOW and the win changes that dynamic.
The fuck?
So you're not
because we're talking to him.
So in all technicality, You can't just blame one person for changing the dynamic when, in fact, all these other people change the dynamic too.
Once again, I think you're misinterpreting my.
No, I'm not misinterpreting, because technically you can't blame one person for changing the dynamic.
I reserve the right to file my argument at the later point.
It's fine. At the end of the day, when MiGTOW wins in there, he changes that dynamic. When Roseblade's in here, she changes the dynamic. When Mike Pence is in, when Pence Rules is in here, he changes the dynamic for positive.
Well, let's.
And
let's
the sad part about that is the sad part about that shit. No. But the sad part about that though is Mike Pence only has dynamic with me because I've actually talked to him lengthy before he even got in the last year. He didn't know any of y'all motherfuckers. Didn't know any of y'all motherfuckers before he got there. But the fact of the matter is, because me and Mike Pence have some type of dynamic, because we share the same server at one point, we have a dynamic, and we're able to roll on it basically.
Because not Mike Pence, but yeah.
I'm talking about Pence roll. He's actually has very good that he actually has dynamic to actually change it in a positive way because I know his strengths that I can play off of in that fucking last string. It's all about playing off the strengths of everybody. The sad part about that is if we're in a live stream and I can't get nobody to actually, it's kind of like how we say you can lead a horse to water but you can't make it drink. If I can't make y'all motherfuckers drink, then it's trash. It's straight trash. And I gotta make y'all drink at any means necessary if I got to inject somebody in there. Y'all niggas gotta drink this shit so we won't look like trash. We let's put it this way. If us and Lily Singh were going up against each other, she'd be kicking her asses right now.
She'd be just
That's how trash we are. We're worse than Lily Singh. We're worse than fucking Lily Singh. And that's probably being generous to Lily Singh.
We're actually funny.
And we're actually funny.
Yeah.
And we're worse than that heifer.
Man.
That's how bad we've been. So for you to say certain people change their dynamics, hell, good example is a person that changed their dynamics. Lonely _ changed dynamics. You ain't complaining about his ass. That guy changes dynamics. You ain't complaining about his ass. Lord SOS changes dynamics. I hear you complaining about his ass. Hell, when MiGTOW Dictionary was in here, he completely changed the fucking dynamic.
Fucking for 6 hours.
Did you hear me complain? Did you hear me complain?
Point exactly. No. You did complain when you said she changed the dynamics. That's a fucking complaint.
No, that was a comment. That wasn't a complaint.
That's a complaint.
That was a comment.
That's a complaint. That'd be something that that'd be something that Lazlo would say to me if I forgot something that Lazlo got.
Look,
Hey, look.
if someone can't handle that,
may I say something here? The reason I
it was
say
a comment. It was not a complaint.
It's technically a complaint, Double A. Because
there's
you
no
said
technicality. There's no complaint.
No. Here's why it's a complaint. If you'd have said it one time, it'd be a comment. You said it multiple times. That makes it a complaint. That'd be no different than me going to HR and complaining about me not having PPE in my department twice.
The reason I
Show
say
doesn't have HR.
Look,
it doesn't matter.
It's a small business.
If the show, look, we'll even do this. We'll find it. Going off that logic argument, Double A. If the show had HR, everybody would be fucking fired. Everybody would be fucking fired if the show had HR. Everybody would be fired.
Hey, the reason I say I want it's your cat. I'll just hold the tail and watch. Basically, I'm trying to feed off of the energy. You know?
Yeah. The sad part about that, though, you can't feed off of nothing that's not there.
Right.
That's not there, right? Oh shit! Fuck.
That's the reason I say it's your cat. I'm just holding the tail. Basically, when you tell
and the sad part about that is, like I said before, and I said this any other time, if I know something's fucked up, I'm the first person to tell y'all in the message system in the background.
So
basically, I'll tell you.
Steer this.
I know, because like, how many times have you heard me say this about multiple people we've had on the fucking show? I said, that nigga fucked up the dynamics, he slowed down the show. I say that all the fucking time. Fucked up the dynamics, he slowed down the show. Or I'll say, he slowed down the dynamics, he's basically steering us into like a fucking shipwreck, basically, and trying to make us look like a hate group by saying this shit. I've said multiple things like that to y'all many fucking times. Like, we only have on the show like once or twice a week because of that.
Yeah.
When y'all had me out of the live streams, it was for a good reason. One, because I was getting a little fatigued. Two, I like to analyze shit. You know, I like to break it down Barney style. Like, I like to.
In fact, a good example on that one live stream when Yam said, if we invite women here, we'll have to basically slow down the live stream. Yam said something to the center. We're basically have to slow down the live. He analyzed that shit properly. He didn't know where I was going with it, but he knew where I was. He basically analyzed where I was going in that live stream.
Right.
Because he knew when would mess up the dynamics of that live stream if we were to
that's
fight
why
him.
I said y'all didn't need me on this live stream.
And that's when we brought up the whole entire
said
third
y'all
world
didn't
country
need
shit, basically, to basically make it look pretty.
Like I said, I'm not from a third world country.
Yeah, that's when we brought up the third world country to basically make it look like a pretty bow. Like we weren't trying to actually, intentionally kick him out of the live stream. We brought up third world country to basically wrap it in a pretty bow.
Like I said,
basically
that was a gift for me.
You see what I'm saying now? So in all technicality, all these people, various people in the live stream actually will slow down or hinder or steer it towards a fucking hate group in this live stream. We have multiple people in the live stream that's done that, but I've never heard you once say, I've never once heard your ass once say double I that they messed up, they changed the dynamic of the shit. You never once said that until a woman came in the live stream. Then you actually made that comment, and that was the only time you made that comment. Because before that, I was the only one making that fucking comment that they fucked up the dynamics of the live stream. I was the only one making that fucking comment.
Right.
You didn't make the comment until a woman came to the live stream.
I think that we kind of get some of the internal sadist out of it when certain people come in, because for whatever reason it's like, because I was listening to a couple of Duzang's streams and stuff, and for the most part, those ones are pretty well. We're all pretty well adjusted to Duzang's attitude, and we let him run the show. And for the most part, that's why I make certain people the leader. That's why I make certain people the leader of various shows. Ducharme's the leader of Relentless. Duzang's is the leader of fucking Savages. YouTube, I rely on YouTube to do Forum. Y'all two are the leaders of Forum. If Forum is fucked up, we got problems. Problems.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Y'all two, despite the fact that Double I goes, no, give it to Yam. No, y'all, this show is made for both of y'all motherfuckers. So I expect y'all to lead. Now, Yam did go overboard the one last stream that we let him lead. I will admit that shit. And I was talking shit behind him when I said, you hear this motherfucker in this last stream? This nigga done. See this nigga? They slapped me several times in the motherfucking line. Like, the hell type of shit is this? I said that multiple times, but it was funny. It was funny actually watching you grow as a human being. At the end of the day, that's what I expect y'all two to do. Because this is your show. So I expect y'all two to lead. I don't give a damn if you don't want to have the leadership role, Double I expect you to fucking lead in this show. Just as much as I expect Yam to lead in this show. It's your shows.
All right. Fair enough. And don't bring on any guests. Don't bring on any more guests unless they're cleared with us first.
Fine. I will do that. But if it's fucked up, it's going to be named Unforum.
No
and
guests.
I got to inject somebody.
No guests unless they're on the list.
I'm letting you know if the live stream is fucked up, I will find somebody to make it more interesting.
Then it won't be
At the end of the day, like I said, you never once said anything about any of the other guests that fucked up the live stream royally. Literally, we had two of them on that show. We had a racist motherfucker, and we had, what's his name? I don't even want to say his name no more because I don't even want to give him the attention, who fucked up the live stream royally. You've never once said he changed the dynamic. You never once said none of them motherfuckers changed the dynamic. Even the motherfucker that me and Dennis was flowing on, the last stream that you were in, and you were sitting there watching us flow on this nigga, rip on this nigga, like savagely rip on this man in the show while he's on the panel. You've never once said mess up the dynamics of the show. You never once said the racist guy messed up the dynamics of the show. You never said the one guy whose name I'm not going to mention. You never said he messed up the show. Now, I have said all the time that all those people and more has messed up the dynamic of the show. I've been consistent the whole entire time. But the minute one woman gets on a stream, she changed the dynamics, but nobody else has ever changed the dynamics. But she made the show better.
Stand behind my comment.
Yeah, but like I said, you can stand behind your comment, but if there was HR on Tico Tren channel,
at least HR would have been able to allow me to get the time to provide proof. I feel like I'm being thrown under the gavel here.
HR would have did that. Yeah. We like our money.
But
so you're
also
you're
you're trying to shoot a different point through this one little hole.
No, I'm not trying to shoot a different point through this one little hole.
Hold on a minute.
I'm actually
I
making
just
the point.
lost sound. I got to bounce.
Lord. Like, I'm not trying to shoot a point through a certain hole. It was dumpster juice. If, like I said, let's just put it this way.
Bad. Like,
If,
I'm not
like
gonna.
I said,
I'm not saying that we're bad. I'm saying that the stream
it was so bad. Here's how bad it was. If Pence
and other streams have been bad.
rules was on the path, and Shinobi won for HR.
And I don't want to get it.
If Pence rule, JB,
Yeah.
but let's just say we're even making it
yeah.
all. We're even
Just
making
let
it
him
all.
go. Yeah. Let him go. Yeah.
The sad part about that is we're going to even make it an all male cast. If Pence rules was on HR, we all be fired right now. Because I know how Pence rules thinks. That was straight dumpster trash. He would actually agree with me on how dumpster trash that shit was. He would actually tell to me. He would actually send me a message in private messaging. Him and or Hitton would send me a message saying, "Tico, you shouldn't even have done that."
Are you done? Are you done?
It was so trash.
I'm not technicality. The show does this channel does have HR. Because what Traversable will let me know when I fucked up.
Do you need more time?
MiGTOW will let me know when I fucked up.
Do you need a little bit more time?
Matter of fact, Underwear on Hit would actually let me know when I fucked up or when something fucked up.
He needs more time.
I don't need more time. I'm just letting you know that if they're technically HR and they said it was trash.
They are technically.
MiGTOW,
okay.
Underwear on Hit. Underwear on Hit.
Are you done?
Go ahead.
You sure you're done? I just want to make sure. Is it out of your system?
I'm done.
You sure
Go ahead, I'm done.
It's totally out of your system?
I feel better now. I don't have to call y'all anymore and tell y'all how trash that video was anymore. I got it out right now. I feel better now. So you ain't got to worry about that call from me. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Okay, because
I think
first before I end,
and then go our separate ways after this, and then
hold on. Before I start, first, I have a pre-question. The pre-question is, who hurt you?
Nigga, it's not shit. It's our show. You heard our ratings, nigga.
So you're not done yet. You're not done. I knew there was more.
That's what the show should be asking. You heard our ratings.
All right, good. So there was a little bit more left. I just wanted to get it out of you.
Well, you asked me and I answered. Smart ass. We all heard our ratings by doing the shit that we did and not diving like we normally do. This is why. This is also why I actually cut the forums out of the week. No, this is also why I cut one of the forums out of the week because I knew it was trash and I knew it was going downhill. This is why I only cut one forum. Matter of fact, remember the week when I was voting on which show we should keep? Remember that?
Mm-hmm. That was
because I knew it was going downhill from there. I literally asked you, Dennis, Cam Petey. I even sent the message to MiGTOW to win because he wasn't really a part of the staff at the time. And I sent one to all y'all and Dennis basically. And I had y'all take a vote. Only 4 y'all got back to me on that one. Dennis was like, I don't know which one. He said Dennis basically went, well, which one got the most views, and which one got the best ratings. Basically, if it was a TV show, which one would you keep for best ratings? And I go, you got a point there. I'm gonna keep that basically. Exactly what I said to him because he agreed with whatever got the most views and the best rating would get the most best ratings.
Which should be the one that stays, right?
Yam's response was exactly, well, I think we should get the Yam Show. Well, the Yam Show doesn't get that many views. Well, I still think we should get the Yam Show. Well, the Yam Show doesn't really get that many views. And I rebutted it, and I turned around and rebutted it with, that's why I got forum, because it's for you two. The Yam Show actually came out of the forum. Yam's Corner came out of the forum.
Because I know that if it went bad, I could take full responsibility for it going bad, and that's
the sad part about that is the sad part about that though. As your best friend, you ride like that. I wasn't gonna let you ride like that.
Thank you, Tico.
I have too much respect for you. I have too much respect for you to let it go down in drains like that. I have too much respect for you, and I love you like a little brother to let it go down in drains like that. So therefore, I kept forum because I know
towards the end. I could tell.
That's where Yam's Corner basically because I kept forum because that's where Yam's Corner basically started out as a segment as a forum basically. Basically, Double I was supposed to do his tech or whatever the heck you want to talk about, and Yam's Corner was supposed to come out of nowhere. Was the original agreement to that shit, and Double I stopped doing tech or stopped talking about shit. Period. And that's when shit really went down fucking hill. So I had to push Yam's Corner because forum was starting to suck.
Well, I just half the time I never know what to talk about in forum. I'm just waiting.
Let him finish, Yam. Don't shut up, Yam. Shut up. Let him finish.
What do you say? Because you dirty bastard.
Are you done? Are you
The sad
done?
part about that is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, if it was a show, table flip would be at the top of it. Relentless and Savages will be up there too. And the sad part about that is Forum was starting to slip because Double I wasn't pulling his weight.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? I mean, how much more can you draw this out?
The only saving grace to Forum was Yam when he started doing Yam's Corner.
Okay, so are you done? Are you done?
Go.
God, get it out. Come on, get it out and over with. I need you to finish.
Just call him an Indian house Negro. Let's get this over with so we can all hug.
Come on, just do it. Yes, that's what I'm talking
I'm not
about.
going to do that. No, I'm not doing that because my grandmother would jump up.
No, but the problem is I need you to finish.
The reason why I'm not going to call you that shit is because I sent all the grandma around about the grave like Thriller and shit and slap the shit out of me. I ain't got that to do.
All right. So I just need you to finish so we can continue.
Continue.
Are you done?
Here we go. Keep going. I'm just you're
you done?
In this task. I'm just holding the tail watching.
Hold on, Yam. Hold on, Yam. This is between brothers.
Too.
This is between cousins.
I'm done. And the sad part about that is now that I'm actually looking at the views, this part of the video is actually getting most of the damn views.
You're not done yet.
Wow.
That's the sad part. This part of the video gets the most fucking views right now. Let that shit sink in.
So are you done yet? Are you done yet?
I'm done. I'm done now. Yeah.
All right. Who's operating the panel right now? Is it Laszlo or Kirana?
Actually nobody right now. I'm actually doing all the panel work right now.
All right, so I'm going to need you to mute yourself.
Whatever, smart ass.
All right.
For the rest of the stream. No. All right. So with that said,
I'll do your outro.
No. We're not done. We're not done.
No, I'll do.
We're not
No,
done.
I said,
Fuck this shit.
I said, I'm gonna do Tico's outro.
Oh yeah. You could do Tico's outro. I constitute that.
The sad part about that.
Hold on.
The only reason why this, and the sad part about that, you want to know the sad part about this viewership right now that we're getting? The only reason why they're watching is because Tico's being savage. That's the only reason why they're watching this part.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet? So I can become savage? Can I start talking yet?
Go ahead. You can talk.
All right. Now, first of all, we've been letting you run the front end. Not no more. We're gonna be doing this. Okay?
No more reception.
No more this bullshit.
No more trabajo.
Yeah. No more. Hey, how about we get this guy in? You ask us permission. Who comes on our show? Just like the other people tell you that they don't want this people over here on this show or this people on this show. Now it's our turn. You want us to push the brakes? We're gonna push the brakes and the accelerator. We're gonna fucking hot brake this bitch. All right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I need.
No. See, I've been letting you drive this fucking ship, right? All right. Sit down, kid. Let me drive.
Right here. The sad part about that is I've been driving it to positive. Y'all been driving it to like off the cliff.
Okay. All right. I thought cruise control was still on, but obviously, we couldn't leave the cook in charge, right? The cook is not paying attention to our show. He's cooking up some other show.
I'm cooking
in some of our live streams too.
Right? You know I'm here. I always push y'all to do better, and I always tell y'all when y'all do better, and I tell y'all when y'all need to do better. Or we fucked up.
I see what we got to do here. Yeah, we got to cut this up. I got you, brother. You and me.
Like Yam is fine. Yam is perfectly fine. Yam is perfectly fine. I will say that Yam is perfectly fine.
No, but the thing is,
they tell him to win. They tell him to win. Sometimes he's on, sometimes he's off. Double line, he's sometimes there, sometimes not there. The irony to it is, as of late, he's actually been coming back and actually having a voice. And he's been quiet most of the time before that. That's what I want to do.
This is good. This is good for everybody to go back and watch because that's the thing. It was like
since we're a small company, we need
I
to.
said that about Double I because matter of fact, we all talked about that shit. Like Double I, we need you to talk. We need you to participate. You know. Matter of fact, Yams even said to me in private, like, "What's going on with Double I? I don't know. That nigga's not talking. Tell me what's going on with him. You're closer, nigga. Like that's literally been our conversation.
I know.
We need you to participate.
I see
And the
this.
same part about that.
I see the
need you-
autopilot has failed on this ship, and
Yeah, you're
the
autopilot,
captain
bro.
needs to take
That's what happens when
take
you
the
touch
helm again.
computers.
Yeah.
No problem.
Your autopilot's been failing. I'm gonna need you
Loud
to
and-
actually drive
loud and
manually
clear.
from here on out.
Mine has failed.
I'm gonna need you to start driving manually like you have in the last few weeks. I'm gonna need
Still
you
wound up.
I'm gonna need you to break this. I'm gonna need you to break shit.
Once
I need you to
you wind him up,
on
it's
this
just like
bitch.
no tomorrow.
Hey, gents.
I'm gonna need you. I'm from here on out, Double I.
Still going,
Like the last few weeks, I'm gonna need you to
like
go
the
fast and
Energizer
furious,
Bunny.
like Paul Walker and fucking Vin Diesel. I'm gonna need your ass to go fast and furious to the extreme.
Didn't we just
Here
talk
on out,
about this?
like you did
Well, I
last
gotta be
week.
Paul Walker.
I'm gonna need you to go
Fine, give me
triple
Paul
X.
Walker.
He's about to do a Paul Watson.
Yeah, he's Vin Diesel. No, it's
Double I, Vin Diesel, and you're Paul Walker. I'm gonna need y'all two to motherfucking do this shit.
Yeah.
And no more silence, Double I. Because the minute you get silent, I'm gonna be pissed at your ass, and I'm gonna piss you off. So I don't care what the fuck's going on with you. I'm gonna need you to participate.
Like I
in
said,
shit.
like I said, Tico. Like I said, no more.
Now it's one thing.
more,
It's one thing if you don't. It's one thing if you're not in the stream and you're quiet because you're not in the stream. I respect that. But if you are in the stream, I'm gonna need your ass to participate.
I got you.
I like him.
Because your silence. This is what I mean. Your silence basically messed up the dynamic of the fucking show. Because with you not talking, you being silent, that's when it's going down fucking hill.
Put that up, Tico. Put that up, Tico. Put that comment up, Tico.
Put that
free agent. My free agent.
What comment?
The one that it's capitalized. It says, "Are you done?"
Okay, he's actually driving respectfully. Okay. So I can call him a motorcyclist.
Are you done?
Who's done?
It's right there.
I wasn't sure if I was going to get passed by a Crockett or Dick Crockett or a freaking motorcyclist.
He said, "Americans, the truth hurts."
Truth hurts. Wow. Yeah. Wow, America. Seriously?
The truth always, fun. The truth's always fun to tell us about you. Then you got to be honest with the shit. Then you got to look at yourself, and then you be like, okay, you're being mean right now.
My whole life, I've been told that I need to keep my mouth shut.
No.
And now you guys are telling me I
gotta. This is your Double I. I don't care what they told you when you were a kid. This is your fucking show. I'm gonna need you to run your fucking show with Yam, with or without Yam. I'm gonna need you to run your fucking show. I don't want you quiet. I want you on it. I want you on it. I need you on it because, like I said before that, the shit was going downhill.
Are you done yet?
Yam was even asking me.
Is this round 3?
Yam was like, "Well, is something wrong with Double I? Is he depressed or want to do some shit? What's going on with Double? I don't know. That nigga.
Okay, I don't know why we're doing this on a live show right now.
You so did say that, Yam. Is he depressed or something going on? Is he? You asked me all these questions because I remember that conversation.
If you want,
that was the one time where he said,
"Hold on, just hey, gents, hear me out. If you want this to stop, maybe you should stop dredging up mud from the bottom of the river." Because it seems to me that I'm seeing.
Sometimes you gotta dredge up the mud. Yeah, no. See, sometimes you gotta dredge up the mud to find golden diamonds.
But there comes a point where
golden content.
Look, let me say this.
Because I think that look, what you fail to realize, Rev, when the reason why I picked these two because I knew these motherfuckers were golden diamond, platinum. That's the only reason. Well, between him, Dennis, and them two and Dennis, I knew the motherfuckers was gold, diamond, and platinum.
Right.
And I knew their potential, and I was very proud of them. And that's the only they're that damn good, and they have a very good dynamic with me. They have a very good dynamic to do it by themselves if they're not fucking there. This is matter of fact a good example of that. Remember when we did True Sherm's last show?
Yeah.
And I stepped out and let y'all pretty much have it.
You let Sherm in your position, and then it was basically still Double I and us talking and like making sure that
because
people.
I knew y'all motherfuckers had it. That's how much confidence I have into you motherfuckers. Because it was
and
the
when we're
first time
both
in a
here
long
and
time.
participating, it's a good show.
It was the first time in a long time that Double I actually started talking more, and he was actually participating at a higher rate. And I was fucking proud of him to the point where I knew I could step out of the shit and let y'all have the shit. That's fucking fact.
True.
I'm gonna need a
Rose?
salary.
We get more stuff.
If I
We
gotta
get
deal
more
with
stuff.
estrogen,
Hey, look, I'm gonna make it to you.
Oh, okay. Trust me.
I gotta get paid if I gotta get deal with estrogen.
I will promise you this, Double I. I will promise you this, Double I. If we ever get like multiple thousands of subs, like in the double digits, or the 5 digits or the 6 digits,
Well, notice,
y'all
because I want to say, so just because that stream is a bad example of a good example of our stream, let me just put it to you bluntly, based giving you my perspective. Okay, yeah, I got a little bit quiet when Rose Blaze was in the stream. Okay, I'll admit that right away. I won't explain the circumstances that went into it, right? But she's not the only person that when they entered the stream, I have gotten quiet. There's been a lot of different ones. And the point about it that I wanted to make is that, like, sometimes when I'm listening to somebody, it's not just because, oh, I don't know what to say. It's because I'm trying to feel out the dynamic. And with certain people, it's like I'm quiet because I really don't like what they want to say. So I let them go and let them keep talking. But, like, with Rose, it's different. By the way, happy birthday, Rose. It's your birthday.
Old ass fart.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Rose. You're cougar.
So when God said let there be light, she flipped the light switch on.
Happy birthday, Rose.
Rose the bartender at the Last Supper.
He's like, would you like some wine? Oh, there's no wine. I drink it.
Would you like some more wine, you cunt?
Or like when Jesus is like blessing the food, she's like, oh, just finish up, you scrub. Just finish up.
Finish up, you twat.
Fucking twats.
You donkey. You donkey. I only pick on Rose Blaze because I love her like a little sister. Even though she's older than me.
Right. Rose Blaze sister.
Wow.
You said it. I did not say that.
So that basically makes her a cougar. A cougar. So basically, I can say happy birthday.
She's actually not older than me. She's actually not older than me. I'm just being a simpleton right now. She's actually younger than me. I'm being a smart ass because I was picking on her. I was picking on her in her server. I was calling her old as hell, basically.
I pick on everybody. I pick on everybody. I don't know unless it's
just like
holiday.
do you have the stats since Tico? You're going about off the numbers. Do you have the amount of videos we made minus your in personal live streams and your uploads, like live streams that we've made? You have a actual number behind that?
Yeah, I'm gonna need stats.
How many live streams we actually made together?
Yeah, like no shit, table flip,
I can tell you what I mean. All that we were in, or we were not in, or that I made all together, or with or without you, or what?
Just since the channel, just since us.
Y'all been in about. Not, including my old channel that actually went downhill, that got somebody struck down. I'm not going to say names. It was a guy because he was hurting. Who hurt you? Yep, who hurt you?
Jews, apparently.
It was actually a guy that actually struck down the last channel. Yeah, I did hurt his feelings.
I want to say something about that. Hey,
to be honest with you, between both channels, I've done about altogether. I've done about like. About 300 live streams.
Damn.
I was gonna say we
between
should
both channels.
But for us, like they should be. I want to know if there's a milestone coming up so we can do something special. Like if we're gonna hit our 50th live stream on the channel.
With just us. We've actually done us alone. We've done about including the nighttime ones together too, or not including those ones?
No, yeah,
Including those
and
ones,
just all of them.
we've done roughly, including those ones, just this channel alone, not including the one that went down. We did about 100. We did about 100 and no, I'm sorry. We did about 76 live streams.
So I think
on this
for
channel
our
alone.
100th live stream, we should do something actually like cool, like maybe do like
Yeah, I agree.
or that would be fun. So there you go.
The sad part about that, I think
Public
the sad part
Day.
about that, I think our 100th live stream would either fall on Du Zhang's day or Shu
I say
Sharm's day, depending on what's going on.
I say we chop off the roots of a yam.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. That would be so great.
We've only done. I think we've only done what, like 20 something live streams with MiGTOW on the Win. We did 3 with MiGTOW Dictionary. We did 7 with Cam Petey. I've done 3 with Lord Soso. I've done 19 with Red Pill Radio before he went off. I've done a grand total of 130 by my damn self. And that, yeah, you've done a lot.
Yeah. Hey, gents, can I say something? This is a long.
MiGTOW did like 5, 6.
Yeah. And this is along the lines of the who hurt you thing. And I want to say this: nobody can hurt you any more than you can hurt yourself.
You can hurt yourself.
Hurt yourself.
That's right.
Let me break facts, and I want to break it down.
No, actually, no one can hurt you. No one. The only way they can hurt you is unless you let them hurt you, basically.
Right, but I want to say this. I want to break it down. There was a culture, and there's still parts of that culture that would basically don a dagger, run it, plunge it into to one side of their guts, rake it across the other, and give a quick upwards thrust without saying a peep. And as I said, if they can do that to themselves, that is the extent that you could hurt yourself, and nobody else can hurt you as bad as you can yourself. Do you know what culture I'm talking about? They I mean, come on, they fought in World War I and II against the Allies in World War II. They symbolized the bonsai charges. Do y'all not know your history? Or the history told by the victors? Come on, please don't hit my truck.
I was looking at the chat. Sorry, the Japanese?
Yes.
Bushido?
It's called the act of seppuku. If they were able to plunge a dagger, nobody can hurt them any more than they can hurt themselves.
Right.
Everybody has that potential to do that, whether you believe it or not.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the sad thing is like in order to accomplish this radio show, live stream broadcasting that we're doing, I had to actually make a lot of sacrifices, and I still like have to make sacrifices in order to do it. And like
the sad part about that is like I've tried my best, so you won't have to make a sacrifice. That's why I say that's when you want to do one at night, because I figure you're getting off of work and you pretty much have some time so you can do one basically. But I know that you're still making a sacrifice because your ass needs to still go to sleep. This is why I gave you that 3-day weekend and didn't do one.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about recently, because we have. But
I'm being honest though. Sometimes, like that even goes for MiGTOW on the Win over there, because sometimes your ass be off and your ass don't get no fucking sleep too.
Right. I
keep it 100.
I mean,
like Tico, when we go to my session, nigga, when you going to sleep? When you going to sleep? That's exactly what I tell his ass. When you going to sleep, nigga?
Sleep o'clock.
Like to me, driving, I still gotta wind down and wait for the caffeine to wear off.
Yeah, but still though, caffeine or not, you still sleep or you still need some rest. So you can't really be thinking about this shit. You need to lay it down for that. This is why I haven't been inviting your ass to live stream, because I know your ass needs sleep.
Right. But,
I know you too long. I know you too long to let you embarrass yourself like you do. And I'm not willing to let you do that shit. So I've had to not invite your ass, so I know that your ass is. So I know because I know your ass needs some fucking sleep. It's just that.
Right.
I don't need your ass rolling the truck some damn where down the road some damn where, because I'm gonna be pissed at you because I'm gonna kill you, commit suicide, and kill you again if you do. Just straight facts. Legit, because I love you like a little brother, and I don't want to beat your ass if you roll a truck. Keep it 100.
Right. Yeah.
So the reason why I don't invite your ass is because I know your ass needs some sleep, because I've actually listened to you talking in the last year, and I go, yeah, that nigga's not invited back until 2 days or 3 days, basically. That nigga needs some fucking sleep. That nigga needs some fucking break. The same goes for Yam. At the beginning of the shit, I would not invite Yam on purpose so his ass can get some damn sleep.
Yeah. Put me on paid leave.
Right. And I said, and I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't want to roll the truck either. You know?
And then I turned on the news. I'm putting 50 bullets in your ass.
Blasian man went on a killing spree today after he losing his mind. Eyewitnesses say he was on a live stream just the night before and he went crazy. 14 people died as a result of his. No, I was talking about me. I was talking about Yam.
And the sad part about that, and this when I started doing that, I actually did double live at that moment, but double live was quiet in the fucking last stream, and we were failing very miserably because double live was fucking quiet. But I was putting everybody on rest.
He's not done,
and I was with. When would you say he's not lying? Yeah. When I was putting Aaron on bed rest, I was putting him on bed rest. I basically needed y'all niggas to I basically needed Double I to be my partner in crime. I needed that nigga to be my partner in crime. That nigga didn't show up. That nigga left me hanging. That nigga literally left me out there. He rode the getaway car, got away without me, and didn't even bring me with the money and the gun.
I see.
Well, and then the funny thing about it is
we're still shooting. We're still shooting.
We get mad at you for not playing GTA. It's Tico.
Yeah. Okay.
You know the funny thing about it is
I've been trying to focus on this and make it great for y'all, so we can actually continue to do this and keep the viewership.
Hey, Tico.
I've been busy doing this shit and busy traveling more often too.
Hey, I'm sorry that
gather. Hey, yeah.
Playing PS4. Yeah, what's up?
We're gonna have to gather more weapons.
I got four.
We're gonna have to build an arsenal.
I've got four and knives.
I have a feeling we're gonna have to build an arsenal, you and I.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna have
Wind.
The
I'm gonna need your assistance too, Wind.
The sad part about that is y'all don't even need an arsenal. All you gotta do is bring y'all sales and bring y'all game, basically, is all I ask. Like, you don't have to bring 100% of your game. All you got to do is bring 25% of your game. I can make it fucking work.
Remember, he has machetes everywhere.
I have knives and swords. I'm working. And look, I don't have the claymore yet, but I'm working on getting a claymore.
But don't worry, machetes.
The problem is though, you also got to take this first.
I will admit, he's fast.
I got armed guards, so.
I mean, like
he doesn't even need to be that fast.
No,
that's the sad part.
All right, I think I have an idea of where to find him next. Because look, I mean, he's in.
Make sure cartel.
Where's he at? He's in Minnesota, right? He's in St. Thomas, Minnesota, or something like that.
St. Paul.
St. Paul. You know what?
St. Thomas is a school. St. Thomas is a school in Minneapolis.
Minnesota. Yeah.
You're close. You're in
one of the local. We'll get one of the local Catholic kids to follow
We should get some witnesses to go knock on his hotel room door. Like, have you been saved? Eh?
Excuse me. Have you seen the Tico? Have you seen this guy? This guy looks like this guy right here. So you know what? This live stream,
Tico
this
has
live stream is
coronavirus.
now on what,
Tico's
4th hour?
possible.
I got shit to do. It's 1:00 here, motherfuckers. It's 2:00.
Don't you gotta go to work, Yam?
Yeah, I'm going to work after this. Yeah.
All right, so do Tico's outro
you-
because
thank
he's
you,
banned from
Americans,
doing his own
yeah.
outro.
Okay, let me do your outro on this one. Go ahead, mute
We're
yourself.
holding people hostage now.
This is your boy Tico Tren, aka Internal Sadist, aka I banged your mom, aka I bent your daughter over the table, aka I banged your grandma. And be blessed.
And the dog.
Have a blessed day.
And the dog's
take care of
walker as
yourselves
well.
And love yourselves.
The lady
And
who
take
comes
care
to
of
walk the
yourselves
dog.
and love yourselves. And don't ever do anything unless it benefits y'all selves. It's a pleasure serving you guys. So we're gonna come out here with the next live stream. Y'all have a blessed day and do you basically for the most part, if you know what I mean. And just remember, that's like I always say, a nigga might be from a third world country, but a nigga got standards. And because of this shit that popped off at the end of the live stream, we're all grown and we're all better for it, and we all improved and we're all closer because of it. And yeah, y'all do your outro win. Go ahead, do your outro win.
MiGTOW win. Don't do nothing that I do. Don't get yourself kidnapped. Don't have somebody. Don't piss somebody off to the point where they want to knock on your truck at night just because you're there in the same state. Tico Tren, keep your wheels on the tracks. You know the rest. Yam, keep your roots well watered. Double I, leave a compass for your kids. And don't forget the eye drops.
Yep.
MiGTOW to win.
Go ahead, double
Sign
I.
off.
Go ahead, double I.
This is WI. Thank you for watching the show. Check in the Lost Dad channel. I got some videos over there for you. Very few, but got some. We're here to help men. We're here to do good. And now we're going to be taking over the show a little bit more. So there's some more shit to come. And we might have to lower Tico's hours. So just saying. I don't know what's going to come, but we're going to see. Yeah. We're going to need the soundboard operators to be more on point when we're running our shows so we can mute the ones we need. Thank you very much for watching. Have a awesome day and be good to yourselves.
Stay blessed, man. And this is Baron Yam. We do the trolls' job better than the trolls and affect each other on an emotional level because the trolls just simply can't. We develop such a tolerance for them at this point that they just have no effect on us, positive or negative, which is why we do what we do here on this channel. And if you're watching this far, big thanks to you, Americus. I love you, Uncle Americus. And Shinobi One. Uncle Americus has kept me out of trouble all this time. He's always there supporting me. Lord Sos inspires me all the time, do what I do. Shinobi One, go check out his channel. He has lovely chickens on his channel. Who else we got a shout out? We'll save a lot of shout outs for the 100th episode, but big shout out to oh yeah, happy birthday, Rose, whatever. No one really cares about you guys.
Oh yeah.
But
Happy birthday, yo,
yeah, whatever. That's all we do. But who else? Yeah, but yeah, thank everybody because we don't have time to really name everybody else because there's just literally so many people that go into this.
Shout outs to Lord Soso. Shout outs to Pence Roll.
But yeah, so that's gonna be it, guys. Hope that you guys can watch this on the playback and annotate just like we do, and then annotate any other previous videos. But that's gonna be it. You guys have a good night. This is Forum.
Let's get the right fucking link.
Shout out to Mr. Forma.
Now I can get
Yeah. All right, Tico, you can close it out.
Okay.
Take me out. Okay, fuck me.
Shout out to Milo. Shout out to Milo too.
Hashtag
Milo.